So again, getting to see Harris just dominate and just be comfortable on the home floor. Just be comfortable, be consistent, and not you have to focus on doing little things tonight.
Our players of the game brought to you by Titan Shop. We'll get that QR code back on the screen for you to service all of your Cal State Fullerton apparel needs. We are ready to roll here on a Sunday afternoon. Game 3 of the season. The Titans coming at 1-1. So do the Catamounts of the University of Vermont. It is Vincent Lee with the tip, and we are underway. Latrell Reitzel will get us going. Latrell Reitzel, Torrey San Antonio, Max Jones, Jalen Harris, Vincent Lee, the 5 on the floor for Coach Dedrick Taylor. Jones flips it to the corner. Little extra pass. Almost looked like Reitzel got away with a bit of a walk, but possession continues on here. Cal State Fullerton in the navy blues with orange treads. Vermont in the whites. Here's a turnover taken away. That's Aaron Deloney out of Portland, Oregon. He has been a bit of an aspiration for this team to really get going offensively, but somebody who has really emerged, especially in the preseason for Vermont, as one of their pure scorers. He's joined by Dylan Penn, as well as Nick Fiorillo and Robin Duncan. That was Duncan with the ball in the corner, tries a 3, gets it to fall. Robin Duncan, the grad senior out of Evansville, Indiana, 6 for 8 in their last game against St. Mary's. They opened up the season against Brown. They won that game. Struggled against the better team in the West Coast Conference, but he was really the lone bright spot offensively for the Catamounts.
And like you see with that possession there, that's just too much space for him. He needs very little space to get that shot off.
Max Jones struggled in his first game against San Diego State. Got things going a little bit against Pepperdine in the win on Friday. A pure scorer coming from the University of Tampa, Jalen Harris. Nope, that's Latrell Reitzel with the floater. Rims out. Rebound tracked down by Finn Sullivan, the University of San Diego transfer. Vermont, 7 newcomers, much like Cal State Fullerton, a team that nobody knows really what to expect. But the difference is they were picked to finish first in the American East. They have made the tournament in 5 of the last 6 seasons. They have not won a tournament game since 2005, though, when they took down an upset against Syracuse. There's Vincent Lee getting off the scoring schneid for the first Titan points.
That's what you're going to want to see from your senior leader, getting a hot start off of Fullerton. Again, Fullerton was very successful against Pepperdine when they got it inside. That's where they got a lot of their points in the first and second half.
Good ball movement to Dylan Penn. He actually broke his hand in the preseason. That allowed Aaron Deloney to get extra playing time and emerge as one of the starters for this program. Now Sullivan back out for 3. Duncan, this one a little short. He tracks down his own board. Long shots, long rebounds. Penn wants to go at it. No good. Rebound tracked down by Vincent Lee. Lee, the Nevada transfer, didn't play for the Wolfpack his freshman year, and boy, has he been an integral part of Dedrick Taylor's squad, especially during that tournament run last year. Max Jones penetrates. How about Max Jones? Oh, a little too hard, and then a foul is called. Vincent Lee on the box out will get tallied with a foul.
What I like to see there was Jones attacking the middle. That's where they're going to really be able to become successful against the Catamounts, making sure they penetrate not only just the middle to make sure that they suck the defense in. It's going to open up the perimeter for a lot of their shooters on the offensive end.
Finn Sullivan, a 5'4" Swiss Army knife, if you will. He can do a bit of everything, doing it himself off the back iron, though, on the right shoulder jumper. Jones tracks down the board. He leads the charge. Jalen Harris coming off of a career high on Friday in points. Will swing it up top, and Reitzel will reset. And Vincent Lee was able to draw a foul on Nick Fiorillo, and that'll be a reset under the hoop. 3-2, both teams, bit of a struggle early. I will say, though, Vermont has gotten some decent looks. First ever matchup between these two schools. This is quite a road trip for the Catamounts. They started at St. Mary's, dropped that game 79-53. Their first 20-plus point loss since 2018. 8 on the shot clock. San Antonio unloads a 3. This one falls, and the foul.
I like the patience on that. You see he set it up with the jab step there, slowing the defender there. And just a nice solid shot. See if he can finish a 4-point play. And again, last time Antonio was actually fouled on the 3, and it didn't go in, but he made all 3 free throws, which for some people is rare.
Well, now he's looking to try and hit the 4-point play. Somebody who's been struggling offensively, a very stout defender, as he does get the and 1. Maybe that'll get a little bit of offensive injection for him. Titans up 6-3 here on a small 6-0 spurt. Here's Aaron Deloney, the senior out of Portland, Oregon. He went to Grant High School. He was actually the runner-up for Oregon Gatorade Player of the Year in the OSAA. Fiorillo got pushed by Latrell Reitzel under the hoop. And this is the thing about both these teams. They're undersized. Vincent Lee, really the only true big man in the starting rotation for Coach Dedrick Taylor. The same for Nick Fiorillo, 6'8", 225. Lee about the same.
Right, and you have Reitzel underneath at 6'3", just trying to battle his way in. So you're going to want to stay strong, obviously to an extent to where you don't foul, but you can't get punked down there.
Penn able to penetrate with a floater. Dylan Penn, the grad transfer, he went to Bellarmine, a team that in their first season in Division I won their conference last year, the A-Sun, but they weren't tournament eligible because of the transition period. Had a great season for Bellarmine and then moved on to Vermont, where they are expecting a big season out of him. Here's San Antonio with a little bump. A fader, can't get the roll. Max Jones tried the second effort, but Finn Sullivan brings it up. Now Deloney, he can get hot. Torrey San Antonio slapping it away. And right now, it was a zone look for Fullerton. It didn't matter. Aaron Deloney splashes home a corner triple. And actually, are they saying, no, that was a 3. 8-6, Vermont back in front.
I'm not gonna be surprised here if we see a lot of lead changes, especially the way these two teams are competing.
Harris all the way to the rack, leaves it a little short. John Becker, his 12th season at the helm for Vermont, prides himself as a defensive head coach that turns into offense, and his team moves the ball so well, but the swap by Lee behind. A recovery and a Nick Fiorillo layup follows, though, and that's how you stick with it if you're the big man.
Right, and that's one of the things that allowed Pepperdine on Friday to get the lead. Those second chance points are something that Fullerton needs to tighten up on. That's just easy points leaving on the floor.
How about this one? John Becker, the head coach of Vermont, is 148-28 in conference games. I would say that's a pretty good record as Lee flushes it down with the left hand.
Definitely a pretty good record, but I think the Titans have some for that tonight. We'll see.
Well, this isn't a conference game, so it wouldn't go against that record, but he is 258-103 overall, so still very good numbers for the head coach in his 12th season. Here's Fiorillo down low, nice feed, nice dime, turning into 2 for Finn Sullivan.
What I like for the countermounts is they're finding the gaps, they're finding the spaces and cutting into those spaces, and the defensive Fullerton needs to react when a cutter goes through.
Right, what was our key of the game for Fullerton? Fill those gaps. They've really struggled here in the early, about 6 minutes or so to do that. Max Jones in the corner. He was the runner-up National Division II Player of the Year last year at the University of Tampa. Goes Lee on the near baseline. Lee spins, drops, offensive foul, and that's 2 quick fouls on Vincent Lee. Now you have a bit of a questionable smirk on your face. You disagree with the call.
I feel like they both are aggressive. Both are trying to have some contact there. So plenty of basketball left. The rest are calling it tight.
12-8. Vermont takes an early lead here in the opening 5 minutes and 50 seconds. We'll step aside for a quick timeout. Back for more in a moment on ESPN+. Twelve to 8, Vermont takes the early lead here back inside Titan Gym on the beautiful campus of Cal State Fullerton. Carolyn Gill, Jonathan Rifkin. Now, Carolyn, you thought this was a questionable offensive foul. Take us through what you saw.
What I saw was just him trying to get position and, again, absorb the contact from the defense. And that's a tough call in the end. I mean, again, you're looking at the defense trying to hold their ground and make the initial contact. But offensively, It looks like Lee just been in the weight room a bit, and he was did not budge. But it looked like the defense might have got tripped up a bit. But plenty of basketball left. They're calling it tight, but I think if you come off aggressive, if you are the aggressor, sometimes you might end up with the foul call.
So Vincent Lee will check out with 2 early fouls. This could work in Vermont's favor. But Garrison Wade, who has been a pebble in the opponent's shoe in the opening 2 games, big-time transfer from Dartmouth, who actually played against Vermont last year, had 13 big points for Dartmouth. Will check in. Along is Deshaun Eaton. Eaton on defense, trying to guard Deloney. Deloney hits the deck, draws a foul. Deshaun Eaton, another transfer. He went to Howard Community College last season, 16 points per game, 5 rebounds, very efficient, was a first-teamer, and he's going to be tasked with guarding that guy.
Seen also in this last play too here, you can't reach in like that if you're Bastian. I mean, just hold your ground, maybe try to get in there for a charge.
Oh, Fiorillo lost his footing. Fast break on the other, and Wade gets blocked up high by Dylan Penn.
That's just tough.
First team A-Sun in 2021. Had a ton of defensive plays for Bellarmine. Had a block against St. Mary's, and here he is checking in with one this afternoon. Up high off the glass goes Robin Duncan. And Vermont right now extending their lead up by 6. Everybody was asking, how would Vermont fare in the post-Ryan Davis era? Ryan Davis, a 2-time AEC Player of the Year, and, well, seems like they've sort of figured out their identity, playing a little 2-3 zone defense right now. Great job on the penetration, though, by Torrey San Antonio.
I like the heads I saw there, just standing up the defense. I was able to allow him to go all the way there to the basket.
And, of course, Cal State Fullerton, I mean, they're replacing their top 3 scorers, namely E.J. Anasicki. And it's the next man up, Jalen Harris, right now filling that role, but they're going to need more than just Harris offensively. This is Cam Gibson, the grad senior out of Western Carolina, who just checked in. Penn tries a 3, can't get it. Titans transition opportunity. Latrell slows things up, swings it to Deshaun Eaton, spinning, swerving, stopping, and kicks it back out for a reset. 15 on the clock for Reitzel. Steps into a long 2. It's off the back iron. Penn tracks down the board. No good on the 3 by Nick Fiorillo. And right now, I think if you're the Titans defensively, you'll take those quick misses on the Vermont side and then turn them into transition points on the other side.
That's what you want to see. Keep it to 1 shot, rebound, and run. That's a formula that's going to let Fullerton come back in this game right now. As you can see, they're now only down 2.
Yeah, quick spurt here for the Titans, trailing by 2. Duncan sees it into the corner. Penn penetrates back out. Duncan straightaway triple. It's no good. Off right.
I'm surprised they're giving Duncan that much space, but again, with him being that driver that can score, I see why Fullerton is sagging him off. Let him settle for the 3.
6 for 8 in field goals for Duncan in the last game against St. Mary's. As we mentioned earlier, the lone bright spot offensively for this team. San Antonio now, oh, that's a tough screen, and a good job by Fiorillo to fight through it and stick with Torrey. 10 on the shot clock. Latrell calling out the offense. Nobody's moving. They're waiting for a Nathaniel Bastian screen. In the corner, San Antonio with 3 on the shot clock. In, out, and back in. It drops. 2 threes for Torrey San Antonio, and the Titans lead by 1.
And that's what you like to see from a player who's usually what he doesn't get to show up on the stat sheet. So I'm love to see that he's contributing on the offensive end.
Starters brought to you by Ontario International Airport. Boy, was that difficult to pronounce. You saw Jalen Harris, Max Jones, Latrell Reitzel, Vincent Lewis since checked out with 2 fouls, and Torrey San Antonio, the starting 5 for Dedrick Taylor. San Antonio with the steal, but he saves it right to Fiorillo. Down low, the dish and the jam. And that's how Vermont will regain a 1-score lead. On the other side for UVM, you saw Aaron Deloney, Dylan Penn, Finn Sullivan, Nick Fiorillo, and Robin Duncan. The 5 on the floor for John Becker. Becker, a 6-time AEC Coach of the Year. San Antonio wants a 3rd, and he is feeling it from outside, Carolyn Gill.
I like that. That's what I like to see. 3 for 3 from 3. San Antonio.
Last year, his season high was only 8 points, only averaged 3 points per game, and he really struggled from beyond the arc this season. First 2 games not so great. Here in this one, as Deloney leaves one short, 50-50 ball goes to the Titans. San Antonio's feeling pretty darn good from beyond the arc.
I don't know if you noticed, but the intensity on that defense possession from Fullerton picked right on up.
John Becker wants to chat, so we'll step aside. Titans lead 18-16. It's been a fun one. Back for more in a moment from Titan Gymnasium on ESPN+.
x-rays from your urgent care visit look good. Just stay off that leg, okay?
What about my rec team? I'm all they got.
Next season.
Thanks, Doc. Wow. You already scheduled my PT? I love doctors who work with athletes.
Does he know you tripped over a basketball?
That's a sports injury.
At Kaiser Permanente, we make getting care easy so you can get back on the court quicker.
It's been the Torrey San Antonio show for the Titans here early. Carolyn Gill, Jonathan Rifkin, our entire ESPN Plus crew on hand with you. No matter how you're watching or where you're watching, we certainly appreciate you making us a part of your Sunday afternoon plans. Take us through this one, Carolyn.
I mean, Antonio has these corner threes are really just a bread and butter right now, but what I like to see is that he's making himself available on the offensive end. None of the other Titans right now are able to get hot and go off, but he's holding it down. So, again, we like to see from a person who usually doesn't all the time have a high offensive output. It's good to see him contribute to his team in that manner.
Torrey, a senior from Moreno Valley, just down the road. He went to Rancho Verde High School. He was dubbed as the 11th player in California. He was one of the highest recruits at Cal State Fullerton at the time. Played 25 games his freshman campaign, 13 his sophomore campaign, and 26 last year. And here he is in his third game, all the way to the rack. Latrell Wright, no, that's Max Jones leaving it off the glass. Ilari Ayofalei checking in, by the way, for Vermont. Only played 3 minutes against St. Mary's College, so this will be his second opportunity of the season to see action. Finn Sullivan into the corner. Cam Gibson uncorks a three. The grad transfer from Western Carolina is on the board. He really struggled in the opening 2 games, just a combined 3 for 8 from the field, but he gets going with a 1-for-1 start here. Harris been held scoreless, missed the layup earlier, spins into the corner. Jones thought about the three, puts it to Becky. You could hear the slap, and that was a late whistle to be blown when he went up, but they're going to call it side out.
I was going to say, we heard that from all the way up here, and we have the headphones on. Again, what would you like to see from Jones is he's attacking the middle every time. He has this step on Matt Veretto, and again, it's going to be hard if they can't contain that middle drive, it's just going to open up the floor that much more for the Fullerton squad.
Grayson Carper emerges here from the bench for the Titans. Grayson Carper is known as the parlay killer because last week he hit a late 3 against San Diego State that made it a 24-point game instead of the 25-point game that people would need to win their bets. And so he is the parlay killer in my mind. Here's Garrison Wade. He has had a great first 2 games in Titan uniform. They are calling this game so soft. That is a tough call right there as Garrison Wade, utilizing his upper body, gets called for an offensive foul.
I mean, this Fullerton squad is in the weight room. That's all I have to say about that.
But is it a good thing if you're going to get called for offensive fouls? Maybe it's a good thing to skip arm day, maybe. According to these refs.
Well, I guess I give credit to the footwork from Ayofalafi.
Yeah, Falai stepping in. He's really the size meter from the bench, a 6'8", 210-pound redshirt sophomore out of Lebanon, Pennsylvania. He played a couple of games at Rhode Island.
And an interesting fact, he did choose number 0 because he had zero offers his senior year of high school.
He is making a statement. He's trying to prove some doubters wrong, Carolyn.
Right. Maybe he'll try to prove us wrong the rest of this game.
19-18, Vermont leads by 1. Trickling along here to 9 minutes to go in the first half. Here's Finn Sullivan back in Southern California, where he was a star at Torrey Pines High School, leaves the floater short. Emphatic rebound by Garrison Wade. Titans searching for the lead back. Reitzel down the lane, meets a wall of bodies, still puts it up. It's short. Matt Veretto squares it down. Delaware transfer Matt Veretto in possession up top. Finds Cam Gibson. And the ball swinging along the perimeter now. Sullivan penetrating. Sullivan shaking and baking. Can't hit. Rebound falls to Max Jones. They need to find a way to get Max Jones going. Probably the best pure shooter on this team, but just hasn't gotten a clean look yet today. Harris draws a double team. And Vermont's defense right now, talk about filling the gaps, is there's the 3 from the corner. Right on cue, Max Jones, a dead eye in front of the 3.
Definitely think he heard you there.
A much-needed 3 for one of the more prolific scorers in Division II a season ago. 21-19, Titans lead by 2 rather. TJ Hurley, the freshman out of Pelham, Ontario, swings it out. And how about the answer by Matt Veretto?
Just a right back at your shot, but you gotta like the ball movement from the Catamounts right now. Just driving baseline and find that open shooter on the wing.
This is Matt Veretto's first season since 2018-2019. He took a couple years off, transferred from Delaware to UConn where he got his degree, and now here he is back in action 3 years later for Vermont. How about Jalen Harris getting stuffed by Finn Sullivan? Sullivan leading the charge, goes to Gibson. Gibson thought about the three, gets right so on the skates, and the double comes. Reset back out, Ayo Falei can't get the floater. Rebound falls to Garrison Wade again. Vermont leads by 1, Titans in possession. And right now it feels like the tempo is swinging towards the Catamounts. And an off-ball foul on TJ Hurley, the freshman, will take us to immediate timeout. 22-21, the Catamounts lead the Titans. Back for more on a Sunday afternoon in a moment on ESPN+. (22-21), the Catamounts lead the Titans back inside Titan Gymnasium. Beautiful campus of Cal State Fullerton. So happy you could join us. Carolyn Gill, Jonathan Rifkind. Catamounts lead by 1 after a quick spurt. The Titans looking to respond. Here's Latrell right so out of the timeout. Swings to Nathaniel Bastian. Can't hit, but he does get fouled. And Bastian will head to the line. Another Division II transfer. He went to Angelo State down in Texas where he wreaked havoc in the Lone Star Conference. Nick Fiorillo called with the foul, his second.
You see that reach in there. You got to keep both hands straight up. You can't reach in like that or keep the hand down. But as like you said, Bastian, he is representing well for his family.
Born in Nassau, Bahamas. Played on the islands in his prep days before making his way to the Lone Star State. Had a career-high 23 points against Western New Mexico. He actually had a 16-rebound game against West Texas A&M. If you're privy to Division II basketball, you'll know that's a very tough school to get high stats against, and Bastian was so good. Coach Taylor caught wind of him and recognized his defensive prowess and his energy would be beneficial for a team that was rebuilding, and goes 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Here's Finn Sullivan. Father Michael played basketball at Ball State. Brother Merrick played at USD. Cam Gibson turns the corner. Into the corner for 3. It's Sullivan. It's off the back iron. Off the fingertips of Veretto. Tracked down by Jalen Harris. Harris still held scoreless. This is the Vermont game plan right now, trying to take him out of the ball game. They got Vincent Lee out with 2 early fouls. Here's Bastian. He lost it. And a quick foul is called again on Matt Veretto. And that is the 6th Vermont team foul. No more fouls to give. By the way, this is not the only Titan basketball team to have played today, Carolyn.
No, not at all. Our women's team, Titans women's basketball, was able to secure a win on the road against San Jose State. So super proud of you ladies. They were able to beat San Jose 71-63 and had 4 players in double figures. So again, big kudos to them. Let's see if our men's team can do that as Bastian gets an and 1. And that's much deserved. I mean, he came in aggressive, draw those fouls, and I'm hoping to see that he can put these free throws in. But again, just being aggressive, going to the rim is going to allow him to be successful and hopefully be a momentum changer for this Titan squad.
That was a good call. You should do play-by-play the rest of the game, Carolyn. That was really good.
No, we're having too much fun.
That was way better than anything I was going to do. Bastian does hit the and 1, though, as perfectly called by Carolyn Gill. A alumnus of Fullerton women's basketball, as you could probably tell by her emphatic enthusiasm for the win against the Spartans of San Jose State. Bastian can't hit the end 1. He's 0 for 3 from the free throw line, and for a physical guy, he will be at the line a ton, and teams will be so okay sending him there if he has proven that he can't hit free throws consistently.
Again, it is still early in the season, but you cannot be that player that the team looks to foul when it's that last-minute situation. You got to secure that early, but like you said, he's going to be in a position where you can't leave these free points on the floor like that.
Falei in possession. 23-22. Titans lead by 1. It's been a back-and-forth affair here with 6 more minutes to go. Into the corner, a little hot potato between the two. Falei tries a 3. He gets it to fall. That is his first field goal of the 2022-23 campaign. The redshirt sophomore to transfer from Rhode Island.
And you see Jones almost having to guard 2 people at once on that last play. So Titans, I know they're in that zone, but we got to have a little more communication to know who's guarding who.
I mean, they were daring him to shoot, and right there you saw Finn Sullivan take down Jalen Harris. And Harris actually, I believe, went into his right leg, and Sullivan will hit the deck. That is not a good sign.
Kind of went down there kind of late, too. It's like a hit, and he had to...
Yeah, that is...
Is that a Charlie horse?
I think that Jalen Harris may have actually come down on his right leg.
Potentially.
So while they check on him, we'll welcome you here into our little humble abode. And actually, he's going to step off and...
Yeah, when the trainer comes on the court like that, you got to take the player off.
He is walking along the sideline, and he does sit next to the coaching staff, sitting next to Chris Santo on the sideline. So that is a good sign. We'll keep you posted if we hear anything regarding Finn Sullivan. Checking back into the game is Robin Duncan.
And the Titans already in the 1-on-1 situation, considering the foul count now, the team fouls. The Catamounts have 8, while the Titans are only at 6. But again, that's a lot of fouls for the first half.
This is the second of the West Coast trip for the Catamounts. They opened up against St. Mary's. They opened up the season at home against Brown University, taking down the Bears 80-65. Harris is, wow, that is a rare miss. He airballed the free throw, an 80% free throw shooter, Jalen Harris.
And, you know, sometimes you can just be having one of those nights. I mean, like you said, we haven't really seen him be as productive or produce as much on the offensive end for the Titans. But again, sometimes there's so many more ways you can contribute. So let's see if his response, if he can bounce back on the defensive end.
Into the corner, Gibson tries a 3, had one earlier. And everybody's sweating on that one as Max Jones will track it down. Here's Torrey San Antonio, high post. An opportunity for Bastian. Great defense, but a foul is called. Dylan Penn looked like he got a clean hand on the rubber.
You can't just reach in like that, though, too. But, again, as the offensive player, Bastian has to have a court awareness of where the defenders are. You can't keep the ball that far out, you know.
That's what we call a wolf in basketball, right? But that is up to the rest of his teammates to point that out and, you know, maybe howl like a wolf, give him some indication that there's a secondary defender coming around his back.
If I was on defense, I loved when a big was just sitting there like that. Perfect timing.
Yeah, you swiped away a few big women last year in the Big West.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Led the team in steals. 0 for 4 from the free throw line, by the way, is Nathaniel Bastian. Something to keep in mind. It's a box-and-one zone defense. Bastian will foul. Dylan Penn on his way to the rack. He hits it. An opportunity for Dylan Penn to get the and 1. He actually played AAU basketball with Robin Duncan, so they reunite.
Oh, you gotta love that. I miss my old AAU teammates. You really gotta love that.
You ever play against them when you were playing?
I have, actually, at UC San Diego. I got to play against an old teammate at San Diego State with Najee Murray.
Oh, she was good.
Yeah, and she also got the transfer and went to go play at Syracuse, I believe. So that was always fun.
Yep, well, Robin Duncan and Dylan Penn teaming up for the Catamounts. The and one is good. It's 28-23. Vermont leads by 5. Reitzel tries a corner 3. No good. Rebound tracked down by Duncan to Penn. Max Jones trying to stave off a potential paint penetration. Great pass down low in the jam by Ayo Falei. Largest lead of the ball game. It's up to 7 for Vermont.
Falei is giving people reasons why they should have gave him that offer during his high school run.
For 3, it's Jalen Harris. There's one. Trying to get him going, his first points of the ball game, and it cuts into the deficit.
See, he was saving it for when the team needed the most. That's what it was. He was saving it.
Wouldn't they prefer, though, if he didn't get into that position at all?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Here's Penn putting it to the deck. Right at Reitzel he goes. Swings it back out to Loney. He's been quiet, and he is stuffed at the rim, but ball trickles off the foot of Nathaniel Bastian, and that will take us to our final media timeout. Vermont leads by 4. They'll be in possession under their own hoop. When we return, back for more at Titan Gymnasium on ESPN Plus in a few moments.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
The Big West is back in Las Vegas. Don't miss the 2023 Hercules Tires Big West Basketball Championships, presented by the Hawaiian Islands, March 7th through the 11th at the Dollar Loan Center in Henderson, Nevada. Catch the pulse-pounding action as 20 men's and women's teams battle to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. Get the best seats in the house at FullertonTitansTickets.com or call 657-278-2783.
What a finish!
SA Recycling continues to promote the health of our environment, our economy, and our local community. We have taken great steps to ensure we make a difference. Recycling today saves up to 90% of greenhouse gases versus making steel from iron ore. It clearly is the single most important thing we can do to cut greenhouse gases. We're proud to be a part of the ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles, making a difference 1 ton at a time. SA Recycling.
30-26. Vermont leads Cal State Fullerton inside Titan Gym on a Sunday afternoon. Carolyn Gill, Jonathan Rifkind, our pleasure to be along for the ride with you. Well, this may have been the play of the game so far, Carolyn.
Yeah, that's a solid dunk, especially by, I mean, he's making a statement tonight. Not even just solid dunk, but you saw the Titan defense just all get sucked with the driver, so he was just wide open in the paint. Great finish right there.
Leary Ayo Falei, another one of those highly touted big men off the bench for Coach Becker, getting it done on the offensive end out of the timeout. Penn can't hit the floater. And how about Jalen Harris, the smallest man out there, swerving his way to the rebound?
I'm really glad the Titans are able to secure that rebound. They have to keep the Catamounts to 1 shot.
And a whistle is drawn off the ball. Cam Gibson, the second time he is called with an off-ball foul. It was a handoff from Harris to Garrison Wade, and there was some contact down low between Gibson and Nathaniel Bastian. Now, if you're in Vermont, Bastian's 0 for 4 from the free throw line right now. You're okay with this result.
Right. If I'm Coach Becker, I'm mad. I'm a little mad, but I would be even more mad if Bastian had made all 4 free throws beforehand. And it's a tie game. Let's give us 1 there, and there's the one we need just to get it started for the Titans. Well, not started. Antonio was able to have 1 of those free throws, but just to get it started for his record, it's nice to see 1 go in.
Had 2 steals in the opener at San Diego State. That was his first ever Division I game. Played 5 minutes against Pepperdine, contributed 2 points. He's 2 for 2 that time, 2 for 6 on the game. It's a 2-point ball game as we hit the 3.5-minute mark here of the first half. Dylan Penn operating above the perimeter. Great double team to force him to a tough spot. The force feed to Iofalei. And they swing it out to Robin Duncan. We have not seen Finn Sullivan check back in. He is still on the bench. We'll keep you posted on him. In the corner, ball tipped away. Great defense by Jalen Harris to close the gap.
I like to see that. Chopping the feet, quick feet movement. That's what's going to be important. Stay on your toes. You cannot be flat-footed on defense. So being able to not only use your peripheral to see man and ball, being on your toes, that's A1 defense right there.
Iofalei takes the inbound. 5 seconds on the shot clock. A little 8-foot fader is no good. Duncan tried to put it back in. Missed everything. Here comes Max Jones. Titans looking for the tie or the lead. Torrey San Antonio has a game-high 10 points. Harris puts it down. He has 3. Back out San Antonio. And a good reset by the Catamount defense. Free throw line, San Antonio flips it up, gets fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. And that might be the 3rd foul on Cam Gibson. It could go against Iofalei, but
what you see here, I like the hesitation from Antonio standing up the defense and being able to just draw that contact. Again, you see him hesitate and then go ahead on in.
And you're okay missing that layup, right? You're anticipating contact being made. The point is to get to the free throw line.
Especially if I'm already 1 for 1. I want to get to the free throw line and get my free points, give my teammates a break. Let's breathe a little bit, guys.
Tie the ball game up.
Exactly. Settle down so we can play some amazing defense on the next possession.
30th shooting guard in the nation back in his prep days. Torrey San Antonio, he had a hurt ankle last year against Cal State Bakersfield. That sidelined him for a few games, but his defense was an integral part of the tournament run that saw Cal State Fullerton take down Long Beach State in the championship. Hits both, we're tied at 30. It's a 7-0 Titan run here at the 2:45 mark of half number 1. Penn penetrates down the baseline, kicks it back out. This is TJ Hurley. Lost real estate, ball swung, Aaron Deloney to the deck. Hurley in the corner, foul is called prior to the shot. Nathaniel Bastian will be charged with one, and it's a one-on-one situation now for the Catamounts. John Becker relaying some information on his team. By the way, Carolyn, you have to be careful because John Becker could be coming for your job. From 2000 until 2003, he was actually a Division III color commentator on NCAA broadcasts.
See, that just
so you better be on your A game the rest of this game, because I guarantee you when Becker's done coaching, he's probably going to go back into the broadcasting game.
Would not be surprised. I mean, so much knowledge, so much just being around different basketball. Man.
He is the only mid-major coach in the country since 2011 to post 9 straight 20-plus win seasons. I mean, this has been a powerhouse out of Burlington. They've made the postseason in 5 of the last 6 years, and they're primed to do it again. 31-30 our score. Bastian sheds the defense and has an easy lay-in, flexing that muscle, and that's why you hit the weight room.
That's exactly why you hit the weight room, and I like to see just the focus now on this defensive end. And what you're going to want from this Titan squad, stop, score, stop. Stop, score, stop. That's the formula you're going to need as you finish out this half.
Deloney back out. Iofalei with a career high in minutes played so far. Continuing on here. Penn tees up a corner triple. It drops. It's 34-32. Wide open is Sean Penn, and he can make you pay.
Does not need any space, and that was way too much space given by Wade.
Nearing a minute and a half left here in half number 1. 34-32, Vermont leads by 2. It's been, for the most part, a back and forth affair. The largest lead has been the Catamounts by 7. Harris got hit, no call. Shot is long, Penn with the board. Duncan to Penn. And this time Garrison Wade doesn't want to give him an inch. Back out to Duncan. Swung to Deloney. And a good job by Jalen Harris to deny the give and go. Ball into the corner. It's a 3. It's short. That was TJ Hurley on the attempt. Coming back the other way are the Titans. 60 seconds to play. Harris into the corner. San Antonio looking for his 4th triple. He got it!
Oh,
you like that one, huh, Carolyn?
I did. I did. That's the bread and butter spot right there.
Torrey San Antonio has a career high 4 threes. He has a career high, or excuse me, has a season high 13 points. His career high is 18. It feels like he might post a new career high here tonight, Carolyn.
Would not be surprised. The way he's played in this first half has just been pretty phenomenal. It's really kept the Titans in this game. As you can see, just Jalen really getting in, sucking that defense in from the countermounts. And again, a nice three-point shot by Torrey, who's just patient in that corner. And that's what you want to do when you're in that transition too. Run to the corners. Don't run to the paint. You need to spread the defense out so that allows the drivers to have angles to attack.
Right now, they're cleaning the court, the student janitors. They're doing that because Torrey San Antonio is wet from three. It is Splash Mountain out there for the senior from
raining threes out
from
there,
Rancho
man.
Verde. Carolyn Gill, Jonathan Rifkin, so happy you could join us. We're under a minute to go. Titans lead by 1. Vermont has come to play, though. They led by as many as 7. The Titans with a feverish comeback. But what does Vermont have to do here to stave off the late first half spurt by Cal State Fullerton in the final 58?
What you're seeing from Fullerton is a lot of points in the paint. Vermont is going to want to be able to stay in this game. They need to stop the driving angles from Fullerton. And yes, Torrey's had a great shooting night, but they've gotten to Bastian, and he's been able to be effective. On the offensive end, yeah, great ball movement, like you were about to say.
Loretto with a lay-in.
Great ball movement by the catamounts there, and you're going to want to not, if you're in a zone, moving the ball as quick as possible is going to make the zone tire, and you'll catch somebody slipping.
San Antonio wants a 2-for-1, dumps it down low to Bastian. There's about a 12-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. You don't get the 2-for-1, but you get a quality shot at that. Nathaniel Bastian coming alive here in half number 1. 37-36, Titans lead by 1. Vermont in possession of the basketball and an opportunity to get out of here with a lead, but first a timeout called by Robin Duncan. They had one to spare here in the half. And we're going to check out Nathaniel Bastian. This was just great play. I mean, Torrey San Antonio has proven himself to be an offensive threat so far tonight. He draws out the defense, and, I mean, Bastian just botting up.
And that's the epitome of getting in the weight room. Again, you're going to want to make sure that not only are you poised and patient with the shot, but you got to make sure you put your body in between when you're trying to get the shot off. Ball, body, defender. You got to make sure that you're protecting the ball in that manner.
37-36. What's the play call here for Vermont?
If I'm Vermont, I'm going to want to have the last shot. You don't want to have too quick of a shot. Again, going into this, you're down 1, so you don't need it, but it'd be nice to have it. So I'm going to want to run the clock out. I'm not going to want to take too quick of a shot so Fullerton has a chance to come down and score. Going to want to make sure that not only that, but who is hot right now for Vermont. What I'd like to see is just the way they've been able to attack. And when they do drive and kick, that's when they've been successful.
Dylan Penn has been the hot shooter for Vermont so far here in half number 1. We'll see if they go to him, but they have a myriad of scorers. They have not been able to get Aaron Deloney, the pure scorer on this team, going. Here he is in possession with 13 seconds left in half number 1. Nathaniel Bastian will match up to it. Deloney able to shed it, gets a good look, no good. Rebound ripped down by Wade. An opportunity for the Titans. San Antonio wants a half quarter. It's off left. Maybe an opportunity to take one more dribble. Gotta love the effort though from Torrey San Antonio. That's his first missed 3, by the way. And it comes at the half court shot to end the first half. But what a first half this was. 37-36. It is a 14-6 run for the Titans to end half number 1. You gotta feel pretty good going into the locker room if you're Coach Cedric Taylor.
You do, but you also know that there's a lot more to give. You definitely left some points on the floor, you have some mistakes, and you have players like Harris, who hasn't even gotten a chance to go off yet. So as much as you're glad that you were able to play pretty good basketball going to the half, you got to keep it up, but then pick it up.
It's been the Torrey San Antonio show in half number 1. Vermont has largely been able to take Jalen Harris. Vermont, you'd probably like to see them close out a little bit quicker.
Right, and when you're in that zone, you have to move on the flight of the ball. And as you can see here right next to me.
Oh, this is my favorite part.
Check out this link, you guys. We're going to show you how it's done. So
I'm about to go buy tickets for every Fullerton athletic event.
Go ahead and scan that QR code and get your tickets, because this is going to be a great season for this Titan squad.
Men's basketball back at home on November 22nd against NAIA Westcliff. Second half underway as we get going. Vermont in possession. There's Dylan Penn. He flips it up and in, and Vermont will regain the lead in the opening moments of half number 2. Dylan Penn is out there. I do see Finn Sullivan. That is a very good sign. Number 15, he went down after colliding with Jalen Harris on his right knee, and he is out there guarding Harris once again. He is joined with Nick Ferrarillo as a foul is called down low. Robin Duncan will round out the order for Coach John Becker. Jalen Harris is out there, Vincent Lee, Torrey San Antonio, Max Jones, and Latrell Reitzel for Dedrick Taylor. Vincent Lee played the first 4 minutes of the half. He picked up 2 quick fouls, was benched thereafter, but Nathaniel Bastian, Garrison Wade stepped into his place quite nicely. Here he is, backing down Fillarillo, draws a double into the corner. San Antonio thought about the 3, good closeout by Aaron Deloney. San Antonio still with a turnaround 12-footer, no good.
And that was a good patient shot right there, not to settle for the 3. You want to get a little bit warm before you start chucking up 3s like that.
Dylan Penn, who opened out the gates with a 2, can hit the floater. And now an opportunity for the Titans coming the other way with it. In the corner, it's Jalen Harris. It's a 3. It's off the back iron, and a rebound by the redshirt junior of Scarborough, Maine, Nick Ferrarillo. Mr. Maine basketball semifinalist his senior year. I'm sure that is a very tight list up in Maine. Here's Finn Sullivan, the San Diego native, dumping it down low. Fillarillo turns, shoots, can't get the flipper to go. Latrell Reitzel with another rebound.
You like to see Fullerton getting these stops, but what I'm hoping to see is just a turning over, and they got to score on this offensive end. And a turnover by Harris. You got to get that ball up a bit higher.
Good anticipation by Fillarillo down low. Here's Deloney. He gets stripped from behind by San Antonio, gets it back. Sullivan tees up a triple, gets it to fall.
Not just good ball movement by the Catamounts, just not giving up on the play. Obviously, with that tip, you could have just given up, but they swung that rock around the paint and was able to find the open shooter.
At 16 points, his San Diego career high against #1 Gonzaga, Finn Sullivan. He is no stranger to big games. And an offensive foul drawn by Robin Duncan. That is the 3rd Titan offensive foul here in the ball game. And that's going to quickly bring in Deshaun Eaton.
I actually think he might have been a flop.
Yeah, no, they might be calling a flop warning now. That is a reviewable play, and Coach Dedrick Taylor is appealing here.
I did see him kind of throw his hands
Yeah,
back.
they are going to call a flop, so Aaron Deloney will go to the line. This will be essentially a technical foul. 2 free throws in the ball back. This is a flop warning, so if you pick up a second as a team, it doesn't matter if it's the same player. The results will vary, but I think they're going to review it. Let's see if we can get a replay of the said flop. Regardless, Vermont has come out the gates a little bit tighter.
They have.
They're looking inside more. We saw Finn Sullivan, but that was on an inside-outside play that teed up Finn Sullivan. Let's see here. Ooh, interesting.
So
no, they're calling a flagrant foul on Jalen Harris. So that's what it is. So Jalen Harris, who extended. Ooh, I would.
But you see him throw his hands back.
Just because he sold it doesn't mean that it wasn't an offensive foul or a flagrant.
True, very true.
So if Harris extends, I could see why they would call this a flagrant foul. Now
he seems to keep his arms down, though, I thought. But like you were saying.
But even if he extends. This one's a tough one. Now, the call on the floor was that it was a flagrant. If there's not insurmountable evidence to overturn it, it's going to stand no matter what.
Right. And as he comes down, you can see he's trying to get across the lane, but does he turn into the player? Does he turn into him? That's what I'm seeing right there. So
this is perfect right here. You see his elbow come out?
Yeah.
I think that's what's turning into a flagrant. I think if he led with his shoulder, I think it would have just been a normal offensive foul.
I don't know what they're saying on the court, and if that was just warranted from some talking that they might have been doing throughout the whole game, but highly doubt that. We have good sportsmanship out here. So
you might have good sportsmanship, Carolyn Gill. How many technicals did you get in your Titan career?
I can count on my fingers, but the fact that I have to count on my fingers is not good.
I don't remember you getting one last season, at least.
Not last season, but I remember one in Titan gym. I was just a bit
frustrated.
That was a questionable call, I thought, from the ref. Just a bit questionable, and had some words, but and they heard the words.
You expressed how you felt.
Just I mean, you're in the heat of the moment. And, I mean, it's just an intense game. I'm an intense player. So you live and you learn.
Intense broadcaster. 41-37, Vermont leads. They're hoping to get Deloney to the free throw line for 2. We'll see what the call is here as they head to the scorer's table. This is a momentum-shifting call.
Right.
And the last thing that you want if you're Coach Dedrick Taylor is for Jalen Harris to be playing frustrated. You need his offense, you need his poise, you need his leadership, the reigning sixth man of the year here in the Big West.
Right.
And the call's going to stand. It will be a flagrant one. That'll send Duncan to the free throw line.
I'm just saying, as a senior leader, you know you've had games like this in the past. This is not something that is new to you. So being able to just bounce back and have that what's next mentality, next play mentality is going to be really important.
So it'll be 2 free throws on the ball here. Robin Duncan can't hit the first.
See, I can't be too mad. He didn't make the free throw. So.
Well, he still got another one.
Yeah, I know. There's one more.
But no matter what, I mean, you're basically ceding an entire possession as he does it the second, because the Titans had the ball. Now they don't have the ball. Now the momentum is back with Vermont and possession. So it cancels out an entire play and gives them a free point. And that is definitely not what you want if you're the Titans, who are now trailing by 5. 6-0 run here to open up the half for the University of Vermont. The Catamounts, as they're known as. The catamount is a mountain lion that used to be a native of Vermont, and then it went extinct. So for all intents and purposes, the University of Vermont are the only catamounts left.
Wow. Wow.
And a turnover taken away by Deshaun Eaton. Bringing it the other way. Eaton strides. He's rejected down low by Nick Fiorillo. Great job by Fiorillo to stick with him.
Able to time that block there.
And
steps.
Penn puts it to the deck, flips it down low. And that is the AAU connection that we've been talking about. Dylan Penn to Robin Duncan, and the lead balloons back up.
And that's a great find. And on the Titans, on the defensive end, if you're on that bottom part, that bottom left side on the zone, you got to get inside of the offensive player. You can't be standing outside and allowing them to cut. It's way too much space.
Vincent Lee on the shoulder. Puts it to the deck, and that is a foul. I've been saying they called it a bit soft in the first half. I would say that might have been another soft call against Nick Fiorillo.
Yeah, they're calling it pretty close, and don't want to assume it's a makeup call or anything for whatever reason, but again, Lee is just, he's in the weight room. I guess he's earning his fouls.
Talk about weight room. Garrison Wade, who might be the strongest player on this team, is back out there. Deshaun Eaton will take a seat. The Gunners Reitzel. Titans scoreless here in the opening 3 minutes and some change. San Antonio the lead. Double comes, Lee turns, offensive foul is called. Vincent Lee pleading his case. I guess they're saying he wrapped around, and you got to be careful if you're Vincent Lee. The last thing you need is to pick up a technical foul. That is his 3rd foul of the ball game and the 2nd offensive foul he's been called for.
Right, and again, because the refs are calling it so tight, you got to make sure that you're just on your 10 toes.
The truth is, as frustrating as these calls can be, it's been consistent. It was established early on that this is how this game was going to be called, and the referees, to their credit, have been consistent with these calls. Aaron Deloney on the right shoulder. Here's Perry Smith Jr., the freshman, into the corner. Duncan tries a 3, no good. Perry Smith Jr. out of Augusta, Georgia. More on him in a moment. Played in 13 minutes against St. Mary's last game. Here's Max Jones, still without a field goal. San Antonio powering his way. Foul is called prior to the shot. It'll be side out here, but Torrey San Antonio continuing to try and inflict his will on the Catamount defense.
And that's a great, strong move. Again, you see him attacking middle. That's going to be just pertinent to making sure that you're able to at least find a good shot. And it just takes a quick jab and just be able to get into that paint area. It's a wrap, but don't know if it was just an early call. You can't have a continuation.
Yeah, I think that they called it right before that 3rd step. So Robin Duncan gets tallied with it. He'll take a seat. Back out is TJ Hurley for the Catamounts. In the corner, San Antonio. He has 4 of those. Ball finds Jones. Extra pass to Luttrell. On the deck he goes. An 8-foot floater, no good. Rebound is fought for. A little bit of friendly fire between Max Jones and Nathaniel Bastian. And those are the frustrating miscues that DJ Taylor does not want to see from his squad.
Right, although you like the fact that their players were there, that's just a rebound that one of them just has to come up with.
7-point lead, matching the largest of the ball game. Vermont was up 27-20 at one point. Here's Sullivan into the middle. Deloney now calling out a play. He's asking for a screen, and right now Vermont's offense seems out of sorts. They're going to get going with 12 seconds on the shot clock. Sullivan into the corner. For 3, it's Penn. It drops. Titans defense falling asleep right there. Lead balloons to 10.
You cannot leave him open like that. I know you're in the help side. That's just way too much time for him to get that shot off.
Deloney almost picking the pocket of Reitzel. Latrell penetrating back out. Torrey looking to answer, no good. In and out the ball rolls. Perry Smith Jr. with the board. Dylan Penn coming the other way. He has been so good this game, but a foul is called, and we hit our first media timeout. A 10-0 Vermont run to open up half number 2. They lead 47-37. Can the Titans string together a comeback? We'll find out on the other side of this break. You're watching Titans men's basketball on ESPN+.
A lot of student athletes always have someone to look up to, and what better person for Ashley Lewis to look up than her former Titan basketball athlete, her dad, Rayshawn Lewis.
Fullerton women's basketball star Ashley Lewis is best known for not only her athletic ability on the court, but also because of her smart basketball IQ, and what better person to learn from than former college basketball athlete and former Titan, her dad, Rayshawn Lewis.
I think it was important that I came here just because not only that my dad played here, but he has such a big role in how long I've been playing basketball and how I look at the game of basketball, and his input really mattered to me in my decision process.
With the father-daughter duo of both Ashley and Rayshawn Lewis, they both share a forever bond, not only for playing in the same Titan uniform, but for always having each other's backs.
So as long as she's enjoying it, I'm enjoying it. You know, like I always tell her, just find a place that you like to be at if you wasn't playing basketball. She found her happy place, and she's having a good time, and I'm happy about that.
Being a student athlete comes with a lot of responsibility, dedication, and even requires you to take advice, especially from the people you love.
I've just been able to learn a lot of different lessons, like being on time is very important, being places and giving your all when you're there is very important. Like just making sure you're putting your best foot forward at all times.
Go out and have a good time, enjoy yourself. This is just basketball. You know, life is bigger than basketball, so you're gonna have a lot of ups and downs, wins and losses, but most importantly, just have a good time.
It's really nice knowing that any game day I can look up in the stands and see my family.
47-37, a 10-0 spurt for the Catamounts of the University of Vermont as they lead Cal State Fullerton in the first ever matchup between these two fantastic programs. Carolyn Gill, Jonathan Rifkind. On behalf of our entire ESPN Plus crew, we certainly appreciate you making us a part of what is now your Sunday evening plans. Daylight savings time in full swing here, and I think the Titans might be feeling some effects as they have had some lethargy coming out of halftime.
Yeah, Dylan Penn has just been a force for the Catamounts and just extremely effective.
In the corner, a 3 by Hurley as Shorty's 0 for 2. Reitzel rips down the rebound. Latrell Reitzel 1 for 6 right now on the offensive side of things, picks up his 4th rebound. Swung to Max Jones. He needs to get going. He can't get it off the back iron. Rebound tracked down by Robin Duncan. And Finn Sullivan will slow it up. Check that. That was Sullivan. Duncan's on the bench with 3rd foul. Deloney, okay, slowing up the pace right now. The Titans have gotten cold here in half number 2, and Vermont has certainly taken advantage. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Sullivan operating on the left wing. Nice feed down low to Penn. Can't get the roll. Wanted a foul. No call. Reitzel with another. Here comes Latrell searching for points. Looking to go end to end into the corner. It's Jones. Good closeout by Finn Sullivan, the defensive stopper. Extra pass. San Antonio. On the deck he goes. Penetrating the middle. Swings it out with 13 on the clock. It's Jones. Jones with 11. Good lay-in off the glass by Max Jones. Boy, do they need to get that guy going. Lead is cut down to 8.
I like how the Titans were making it a point to get to the rim and not settle for those 3-point shots. You can see Antonio had a chance. He did. I think he realizes that he's going to want to warm up a bit and get some shots in the paint.
Vincent Lee is out with 3 fouls. That's Garrison Wade guarding Dylan Penn. In the corner, Hurley thought about it. Flips it up too hard. No good. He's 0 for 3. Here come the Titans, an opportunity. A little bit of momentum right now to try and cut into this deficit. Reitzel into the middle. Floater is short. They are missing a lot of 8-footers right now.
I mean, the floater is in his back. He should need a little bit more on that one.
We've seen a few of them be left short. Looks like Cam Gibson will check in at the next break for the Catamounts. Deloney into the corner. Hurley thought about it, hands it back. Perry Jr. draws a double. Good closeout by Wade to force the give up. Sullivan with 5. Out for 3. It's Penn. No good. Contact made. And a flop warning now on Dylan Penn. So we were questioning on the flagrant by Jalen Harris if we would see a flop warning. That time, that is a good call. It was tough to see, but if you look right before the shot leaves, he tries to sell it. Not a lot of contact, and he's
already fallen back.
Yeah, he tries to let gravity do its thing and try to sell it as a foul.
And in that right corner, you're thinking Bastian is walking into him, but he's standing his ground.
Yep.
You can stand your ground first, but there is the rule, of course, you have to let the shooter land. Now, you got to take into account where if a shooter normally jumps forward on their shot, that's just their shot. So you got to give them that room to land. So then again, it's not technically a flop, but yeah, the call's going to be that flop call. You need these free throws, and a nice Reitzel hits the first one. That's needed by this Fullerton squad, who has only had their first 3 points. They're finally scoring. In the last minute or two is when they've finally been able to get past that 37 mark.
Yeah, Max Jones with a layup. Latrell Reitzel hitting the technical foul on the flop warning. Reitzel, the junior out of Omaha, Nebraska. His father, Latrell Sr., played at Creighton. Here's Jalen Harris. Great defense to force him to give it up. How about Garrison Wade for 3? He cans it. Not privy to corner triples, but boy, did they need that one from the Dartmouth transfer.
100%. Now with Titans only down 4, this is a great momentum as they finish out these 12 minutes of the half.
A welcome surprise and a momentum booster. Here he is matching up with Dylan Penn. And zone defense in full effect right now for the Titans. Oh, that is wow, they called a foul on that. I was about to say it was a travel or a jump.
Right.
And when you talk about weight room, I mean,
he didn't even budge.
No, Deloney hit a brick wall, and the brick wall was called for a foul.
That is tough.
Vincent Lee will check back in for Nathaniel Bastian. I mean, it was Deloney who enforced the contact.
I think the only reason you call that is because Bastian isn't set. Now, if he's set and he's not still moving his feet, then that's when you're able to get that charge call. Or it's just, if he doesn't move, it's just no call. But you got to have your feet set if you're going to get that type of contact. But again, I like the defense. I like bigs that can move their feet. So
playing tough, you'll take that foul if you're Coach Taylor. 47-43, the deficit is back down to 4. In possession, though, is TJ Hurley, the freshman out of Pelham, Ontario. Now Deloney. He's a senior from Grant High School up in Portland, Oregon. And Torrey San Antonio. Yeah, he threw his arms up, but you knew that was a foul.
I knew it was coming. Yeah. The way he was a bit handsy from the jump, you can just, I don't know if it's just the defense in me, but I just kind of have that progression where, like, I'm in there, I'm there. Foul. You kind of get a little too excited.
Fouls abundant here in the opening 8 minutes of half number 2. That is 4 team fouls on Vermont and 5 for the Titans. Here's Perry Smith Jr., the freshman from Georgia. Resetting things to Gibson. Operating with 13 seconds on the shot clock. Gibson turns into the corner. Dylan Penn thought about it, gets San Antonio up. Extra pass down low. A block by Lee, but a foul is called. They're going to get Garrison Wade, who may have made some contact on the elbow, yeah.
Right. And you're hoping it wasn't on Lee because he just checked right back in.
Yeah,
so,
he has 3 fouls. And Coach Dedrick Taylor can't believe it, but we have immediate timeout. 47-43. It'll be free throws for Perry Smith Jr. when we return on ESPN+. 47-43, the Titans have been able to cut what was once a 10-point deficit down to 4, but free throws here for Perry Smith Jr. after getting fouled by Garrison Wade prior to the timeout. Opportunity here for Perry Smith Jr. to get on the scoring blocks. He was an ESPN 3-star recruit last year. Top 5 recruit out of South Carolina, where he went to Legacy Early College, a prep school. He was there in 2019 and 2020. He actually won the USA National Prep Championships, which is a very tough task. Goes 0 for 2. How about Duncan with the offensive rebound? Deloney will try a 3, can't get it, hits the deck. Torrey San Antonio begging for a flop warning, no call. And that is the 3rd offensive rebound on this trip for the Catamounts. This is a big possession right now for both teams. Gibson into the corner for 3. Veretto got it. Second 3 for Matt Veretto, and the lead back up to 7.
And that's going to add to the count of second chance points. Vermont was only at 2, and now it's up to 5 second chance points. The Titans need to make sure that they clean it up and grab some defensive rebounds.
Jones searching for Wade into the corner. San Antonio. He has 4 threes so far. He has 15 points, 3 shy of his career high. Lee draws a double. You got to get rid of it, Vincent Lee. There it is. San Antonio extra pass. Jones finds Wade. Has 1 3. Give him 2. Garrison Wade. Dead eye from the corner.
What did DJ Khaled say? Another one. Another one.
Oh, I thought he said DJ Khaled.
Well, after that.
We the best music. Anyways, here's Robin Duncan. Cam Gibson draws the San Antonio defense. Great defense by Torrey to force him to pick it up.
I like the dig, too, by Harris just to make sure he picked it up as well. And a nice rebound by Jones.
Yeah, Deloney's been ice cold. Good play-by-play by Carolyn Gill. Jones steps in for a 17-footer, leaves it short. Deloney bouncing off of Veretto, tracks down the board.
I know he was open for that shot, but I would like to see the Titans take their time a bit more. And a nice offensive charge called. Going against the Catamounts.
You okay, Carolyn Gill?
I am. I'm a little excited. A little excited. It's like a flashback for me right there. I remember getting some charges.
Yeah, right on that block right there. Good job by Torrey San Antonio.
Look how he moves his feet there. I mean, the way you move your feet, if you're just there and you beat the offensive player there, you can't be mad at the call if you're the Catamounts. It's just great defense right there.
Yeah, Robin Duncan frustrated, but we've seen that all game long. They're keeping it consistent. This time it just doesn't go the Catamounts' way. Opportunity to cut it to 1 possession for Cal State Fullerton. They have remained resilient here. They trailed by 10 at the 15-minute mark. Max Jones gets bodied from behind by Finn Sullivan, and that is the 6th team foul for Vermont, both teams with no fouls to give.
And I'm not gonna lie, so I can't say lucky, but it looks like Max Jones just had to step. He was going up with the layup there. That could have been an easy 2 if he doesn't get tripped up.
Sullivan will take a seat back in Dylan Penn. Jalen Harris, the gunner, under the hoop. And maybe a good foul by Finn Sullivan, because that could have been an easy 2. Lee on the inbound. Max Jones turning the corner. Max Jones playing big. Can't get the layup, though. Great defense by Nick Fiorillo. And a steal by Lee. He jams it down. It's a 2-point ball game.
And that's the momentum you see. That's the momentum you just see from the Fullerton squad. A little trip up at half court.
Was it a trip of celebration? I have never seen that before, where 3 Fullerton Titans had a bit of a traffic jam out there at midcourt. For 3, Veretto can't get it. And Garrison Wade draws a foul.
Right.
Yeah, Robin Duncan a little too handsy.
I believe he was out of bounds on our last play call.
Oh, right. Good call. Good call.
So that'll be the call. But again,
this is full court defense, right? This is a team that has been really struggling in stopping teams in full court pressure situations. And Max Jones, who missed a wide open layup, he made it up with his defense. He had 2 steals last week against San Diego State, which is no easy task. And it turns into a Vincent Lee dunk and a ton of momentum now for the Titans. An opportunity to tie or take the lead. Here's Jones. Harris. Nice feed to Lee up high. Can't hit it. He does get fouled, and he will go to the line. Vincent Lee playing real big right now. Great find by Jalen Harris.
Great find. And again, you want to see that attack, drawing the defense to you. And I know he wanted that shot to go in. I know he did, but it's been a long game for him. So love to see that kind of play he's able to get. Great setup there.
Vincent Lee, a 74% career free throw shooter, on the wrong end of the first try. Started his career at the University of Nevada. He didn't play. He enrolled but transferred to Fullerton. He had offers from Texas A&M and Washington State. He goes 0 for 2. That was a great box out by Veretto. Torres San Antonio looked like he may have had an angle on the offensive rebound. Lead remains 2 for the Catamounts, looking to extend here. Veretto to Penn on the high post. Penn taking it at Jones, turns the corner, flips it up and in for 2. And Dylan Penn tried to get up, and he is hobbling right now. His left ankle may have been twisted on that play. Contact made and a blocking foul is called. Oh man, this is becoming sloppy. Nick Ferrarillo can't believe it. And boy, I hope Dylan Penn's okay. He came up after initially hitting the ground on the layup, then went back down, and then got back up and was limping. You see him wearing the highlighter green shoes off to the side. And I think he'll check out here for Perry Smith Jr.
And they got to get the subs in before the free throw.
And actually, they're going to keep Penn out there. They're going to sit Nick Ferrarillo.
Maybe he has enough adrenaline in there to...
He's a tough... I mean, the way that he plays, I mean, that dude is tough.
He's relentless, just driving to the rim, and he's just a great finisher around the basket. So you're going to want to keep him in for these last 8 minutes.
Max Jones able to hit. And he gets another. I don't think that either team realized it. He had a 39-point game last year against Florida Tech. He had a 38-point game against the 17th ranked Division II Barry University. You know who has a degree from Barry University?
Who?
Shaquille O'Neal. It's an honorary degree. He actually has an honorary doctorate from Barry University.
Very nice.
So whenever you hear Dr. Shaq, you can blame Barry University. Anyways, Max Jones goes 2 for 2. It's 52-50. A very informative broadcast. Here's Dylan Penn in the corner. 15 on the clock. Crosses up Wade, but Wade gets him back with a swat. Tracked down by Penn, 10 on the clock. For 3, it's Gibson. No good. And a great offensive rebound by Matt Veretto. They have been really stymied, the Titans, in their rebounding game.
And Wade could have gave up on that last play, but timed it perfectly to get the block. And an offensive charge goes against the Catamounts.
One official called it a block. One official called it a charge, and they deferred to the charging call. It was the baseline official who had a better angle on it, and a great job by Max Jones to step in. That is a great call. You see the official on the near side calling the block, but...
And what I love, too, the hustle from Jones to get his feet outside that paint, outside the charge.
The restricted arc.
The restricted arc, yes. Just to make sure that he did not get that blocking foul. Because if you have just your heels on that line, it's a block.
52-50. The Titans have trailed every moment of half number 2. They trailed by as many as 10. Max Jones, who had a possession-saving charge a moment ago, goes to Lee, back out to Harris with 10. Harris draws the double. Somebody's open. It's Garrison Wade in the corner. Jones puts it to the deck. And an offensive foul. You could see him lifting his arm. And actually...
block.
I think we are going to have a blocking foul. So it will be a 1-and-1 situation for Max Jones when we return. 52-50. Max Jones will have an opportunity to tie this ball game up. Back for more in a moment on ESPN+.
SA Recycling continues to promote the health of our environment, our economy, and our local community. We have taken great steps to ensure we make a difference. Recycling today saves up to 90% of greenhouse gases versus making steel from iron ore. It clearly is the single most important thing we can do to cut greenhouse gases. We're proud to be a part of the ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles, making a difference 1 ton at a time. SA Recycling.
The B1 Performance Patch elevates physical functions by transforming carbs into glucose used to fuel the body. Don't compete without it. Visit buyb1.com or on social media at B1Patch.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. a proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. TicketSmarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale, all backed with the TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think TicketSmarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at TicketSmarter.com.
What does it take to discover the greatness within you? It takes resilience.
When I first got to Cal State Fullerton, I felt lost. Then I found my community. It was like a caring family cheering me on.
I wasn't sure about being a chemist. My professor showed me I could. People believed in me here, and I learned to believe in myself. Discover the resilience within you at Cal State Fullerton.
52-50, the Titans have trailed by as many as 10. That was at the 14-minute mark in the last 6.5 minutes and some change. They have fought their way back. Remember, they are in full swing in basketball season. They'll be taking on a very good West Coast Conference team in the University of the Pacific on the 18th, and then they're back home at the end of the week against Westcliff, an NAIA foe, and then the North Dakota tournament. They'll take on the newly minted Utah Tech team before they head up to Seattle for the final game of that road trip. Here's Max Jones. He is a very good free throw shooter. He picked up a blocking foul in the previous drive, and he has an opportunity with one more free throw to tie this thing up.
And the free throws have been a thing the Titans have needed to pick up on. I mean, earlier in the first half, they left 5 points on the floor, so it's nice to see 2 for 2 from Jones.
Yeah, clean it up. We're tied at 52. 7.5 to go here in the ball game between the top team in the AEC and the team picked to finish 7th in the Big West. Robin Duncan being harassed, goes back out. Long three by Gibson, no good. Over the back. Robin Duncan cannot catch a break. That is back-to-back Vermont possessions rather, where he has been called for fouls, and now free throws the rest of the way. 10 team fouls on Vermont, and he is fouling the wrong person. That'll bring Torrey San Antonio to the free throw line.
And that's something that you're at least, although it wasn't a clean, clear box out, just a hustle and going to get that rebound. That's important for the Titans squad. You have to keep them to one shot. They've had too many second chance opportunities.
And a rare miss from Torrey, still sitting at 15 points. He's scoreless here in the second half.
The Titans are now 8 for 14 from the line, while Vermont is sitting at 3 for 5.
Now, the positive side of that is you've only allowed Vermont to take 5 free throws, but you have to take advantage on your own side. I mean, you only made 1 more free throw, but you've taken 9 more. Not a great stat if you're Coach Taylor. Nonetheless, Torrey San Antonio does hit the back end, and the Titans back in the lead by 1. A little full court pressure as Hurley will cede possession to Aaron Deloney. Deloney has really struggled in this ball game, coming in as a highly touted scorer. He had 32 points in his first ever start against Brown in the corner. Hurley uncorks one and gets it to fall. He was 0 for 3 prior, and Vermont back in the lead by 2.
And that's a player you want to make play off the dribble. So to leave him open like that, you can't do that the rest of the game for the Titans squad.
Foul off the ball. They're going to get Perry Smith Jr. trying to battle down low for positioning with Vincent Lee, and that'll send Vincent Lee to the free throw line. Vincent Lee, by the way, so last week against San Diego State, he banked in 2 free throws. It looked like it was on purpose. When I asked Coach Taylor, he said it wasn't. I'm still going to say that I think they were on purpose because they were so perfectly banked as he leaves one short. Maybe he should go back to banking them.
See, that's going to be a thing where it's almost like luck just to bank it in. But if you're aiming to bank it in because, like, none of my other shots are going, I got to hit the bank. A little too strong on that one.
Yeah, and now 8 for 16, and the ball goes out of play. Aaron Deloney was the intended receiver on the pass by Perry Smith Jr. The pass goes through his hands, out of play, and an opportunity now in a huge break for the Titans. Here's Jalen Harris on the inbounds. Titans coming off a Big West Conference championship in the tournament last year. Lost to Duke as a 15 seed in the opener of the tournament. The Catamounts are also a tournament team. They've made the tournament in 4 of the last 5 years. And 6 of the last 7. They just have not been able to get a win since 2005. Here's San Antonio, no good. Vincent Lee tips. Ball is tracked down and maintained by Cam Gibson. Good job by him to stay with it. And San Antonio is once again held without a field goal here in half number 2. Outside for 3, Veretto, no good. Garrison Wade rips it down. He leads the charge. The 3-on-2, Wade to Jones. Oh, he should have found San Antonio on the baseline. Instead, he swings it back out. Harris, that's going to be an offensive foul. No! Wow! It looked like Cam Gibson. This is why you don't call the play ahead of time, folks. This is broadcasting 101 right here. Because now, to me, that looked like an offensive foul.
What I saw, he's already falling back before
you're right.
He could even get contact, and that one of his feet, I can't remember if it's that left or right foot. Let's see it again.
It looked like his left foot was still, still sliding a little bit.
His right foot, and his left foot was still sliding, so you weren't exactly set. But he could have either been a flop call, too, because he's already
falling back. Maybe just doesn't have good balance. Hey, Jalen Harris, a very good free throw shooter, gets the first one to fall, one more to tie.
A much needed free throw by the Titans.
And right now, John Becker's body language a bit melancholic, if you will, on the Vermont sideline as he'll bring back in Ayo Falei, who was a really good piece in the first half off the bench for the Catamounts. Jalen Harris will calmly tee up the second one. We're tied at 55. And that'll bring Latrell Reitzel for the moment. 55-55. 6 minutes to go here in the ball game. Vermont has led by as many as 10. Titans have led by as many as 6. And this man right here has been the bulk of the offense for the Catamounts. Deloney calling out the play. They're trying to get Penn on a backdoor screen. There it is, but a good job to stay with him is Garrison Wade. Wade extending. Penn flips it to Ayo Falei. 9 on the clock. This is the guy you want outside, and now Deloney. Into the corner. Veretto gets stopped. Tries to shoot it with one. That was a tough shot with one on the shot clock. Garrison Wade had it ping-ponged around and taken by Latrell Reitzel. Opportunity for the Titans to take their first lead here in the second half. Wade to San Antonio. Latrell Reitzel all the way to the rack. He leaves it short, but a late whistle, and T.J. Hurley fouled him. That'll send Latrell Reitzel to the free throw line with an opportunity to give the Titans the lead.
And he did come down hard on that play, but I think he knows and he feels that he should have made that one. It's a nice way he tried to scoop it up there. Just need a little more on it to get it to hit that backboard.
And you see the right hip of Hurley just thrusting his way into a gliding Latrell Reitzel and forcing him to the deck. 56-55, Reitzel hits the first. Shows Cal State Fullerton over a myriad of really good mid-majors out there where he's from. Turned down North Texas, Bradley University, South Dakota State, Northern Illinois to come down here to Orange County and play for the Titans. Catamounts searching for points. They trail by 2. Here's Dylan Penn taking it upon himself, forced to give it up. Now Ayo Falei. And a foul is called. We're going to get Vincent Lee a little too much aggression on the defensive side of things.
And although I like the way that he tried to move his feet, you cannot give a middle like that. That's just, you're bailing him out, just giving him middle. Force him to that baseline and make sure that not only that, force him to where your defense, your help defense is at too, since you have a man in the corner.
Ayo Falei, since he had that jam early in the first half, has been largely quiet, but this could be huge if he can find a way to hit both these. Not a great free throw shooter, gets a friendly roll. Little backspin on it.
That's a friendly touch right there.
Got the home bounce as an away player. Maybe plotting with the rim. Looking to tie it up. No good. Rebound taken by Nathaniel Bastian. The Titans have the ball and the lead. Vincent Lee checked out for Nathaniel Bastian. Bastian had a very good first half. 3 for 3 from the field. 2 for 6 from the free throw line though. Very good defender. In the corner, here's Garrison Wade. He had a three earlier in the ball game, decides to put it down to the deck. Turns, shoots, gets the ball to roll through the net. Great play by Garrison Wade, and the Titans corral a 3-point lead.
I like the patience on that shot. You saw he was looking for his teammate to interact to see if he can make a pass, but in his patience of looking, he was able to turn around and set himself up for a nice shot right there.
Penn taking it right at Wade. It pops out. No home bounce for Dylan Penn. Garrison Wade with another rebound. And Reitzel will slow it up, I should say. Right now, the momentum firmly with Cal State Fullerton with 3:52 and counting to go in the ball game. Max Jones facilitates it. Latrell Reitzel back to Jones in the corner. Veretto closes out. Jones going at Veretto, got tripped up, regains his balance, turns, flips, no good. Bastion with the board. Garrison Wade all the way to the rack. He airballed it, wanted a foul, no call. And now coming the other way with it are the Catamounts.
Looked like he wanted to go for the two-hand jam.
And Deloney hangs, hits, and one. How about the 6', 165-pound Aaron Deloney taking it at the 6'8", 225 Nathaniel Bastion, and we have hit a break. 3:26 to go here in the ball game, and Deloney will be at the free throw line with an opportunity to tie when we return on ESPN Plus. (59-58). The Catamounts on their West Coast swing. During this road trip, the University of Vermont will travel over 8,400 miles during the month of November, making every game that much more meaningful, making this free throw by Aaron Deloney that much more important.
I mean, yeah, those road games are the ones you're really going to want to try to secure. These free throws can put them on top right now.
They won't be back home until December 1st when they take on Division III Northern Vermont Linden. Deloney hits the and one. We are tied at 59. Reitzel, Wade, Harris back in with Vincent Lee and Torrey San Antonio, your 5 for the Titans. And the ball remains on the perimeter. Here's Reitzel. Great screen by Vincent Lee, frees him up, swings it back out. Now Garrison Wade. Into the corner, Reitzel for 3. It's short. Deloney tracks down the rebound, and Latrell Reitzel will foul him from behind. This will be free throws. A 1-and-1 for a very good free throw shooter in Aaron Deloney.
And I like the effort to try to crash the board, but that's just a foul you don't need right now.
Third foul for Latrell Reitzel. Aaron Deloney, the Oregonian, at a Grant High School. He departed his high school as the second all-time leading scorer in the school's history. He was the Oregon Gatorade Player of the Year. He was the AEC Sixth Man of the Year last year. He hits the front end of the 1-and-1 to give Vermont the lead. His season high last year was 24 points that came against Engit. Career 75% free throw shooter. Gets both. Now the Titans with their backs against the wall. 3 minutes ago, trailing by 2.
Still plenty of basketball left, but again, you'd rather be up right now.
It's been a game of ebbs and flows. Both teams trading punches and leads here late. Harris all the way, hangs, can't hit. He gets fouled, and Finn Sullivan again hitting the ground. He has been shaken up quite a few times this game, and they're trying to help him up. He does not want to get up. Maybe expressing a little bit of frustration after the foul, but a good job by Jalen Harris to maintain poise inside. And Finn Sullivan picking up foul number. Is that his 5th? It is. So Finn Sullivan, the best defender for Vermont, and an offensive threat in his return to Southern California, where he made a name at Torrey Pines High School in San Diego, is fouled out of the game. Jalen Harris with an opportunity to tie things up. Jalen Harris with an opportunity to cut the deficit within 1.
Yep.
He has struggled this game after coming off a career-high 27 points against Pepperdine. He had 15 points last week against San Diego State. Gets the second to fall.
If I'm the Titan squad right now, all I'm thinking in my head is stop, score, stop.
And Aaron Deloney will call a timeout. Vermont has 2 left. The Titans have 3. We'll step aside for a quick timeout. 61-60. Vermont leads Cal State Fullerton. Catamounts in possession of the basketball when we return on ESPN+. (61-60). Vermont leads Cal State Fullerton back inside historic Titan Gymnasium. Carolyn Gill, Jonathan Rifkin with you. Foul trouble plaguing both teams right now, but the Catamounts have Finn Sullivan fouling out and a couple more players with 4 fouls.
You're looking at Farillo with 4 fouls, along with Duncan, Gibson, and that's just, again, too many players in foul trouble.
Here's Gibson in possession. Catamounts lead by 1, looking to extend. Duncan swings. Back to Gibson with 12. High post, Dylan Penn looking for some space against Garrison Wade with 7, dumps it down low. Gibson ran out of real estate. He crossed the out-of-bounds line, and that is a good defensive stand by the Titans.
You can hear the gym in here. Well, we can hear the gym in here just shouting, defense, defense.
They can hear the gym too.
All right, great. Well, if you're shouting at home, a Titan fan, you're yelling defense too. That's the kind of defense the Titans need to continue.
We want to hear you yelling defense at home is what Carolyn is saying.
Yes.
Here's Jalen Harris, switching hands, hits it. Titans lead by 1. Elevating, gliding, defying gravity is Jalen Harris. And boy, did they need that. Here's Dylan Penn looking for a response. Penn against Wade, lost his footing, gets it up, gets it to fall. Great response by Dylan Penn, and Vermont will burn their penultimate timeout. So now teams trading punches, trading leans, Carolyn, with $1:56 to go in this ball game. How does Dedrick, well, we'll get to what Dedrick Taylor's message during this timeout is to his team, but how about this response by Dylan Penn?
I mean, you have 6'7" guarding 6'3". And again, the ability to move your feet and be as quick and shifty with a guard like Dylan Penn, you got to pick it up. But again, what I'm liking that I'm seeing from this Vermont squad is that they're not giving up. They're killing the momentum of the Titans just as soon as they get a little sliver of it.
This is the game that we expected, right? These are two teams that nobody really knows what to make of. Vermont was picked to finish first in the AEC, but with 7 newcomers, you never really know what you have until you get a couple of games under your belt. 9 newcomers for the Titans, but both teams right now matching each other's energy.
Right, 100%. And that's the thing about these newer teams is on any given night, somebody can show up and show out.
Torrey San Antonio held without a field goal here in the second half after having 15 first half points. Here's Jalen Harris. He had a layup on the last possession. Right sole to Lee. And how about this frivolous cat-and-mouse defense right now, forcing some pristine ball movement by the Titans. Lee backing down, Lee elevating, can't hit too hard off the board. Rebound goes to Duncan. And a big opportunity here for Vermont. Slowing the pace down is Penn. And right now everybody on the bench telling Vermont, just calm down. Get the best possible shot here with 15 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Dylan Penn. Free throw line, stops, kicks, Deloney all the way into the corner for 3. Fiorillo, no good. Offensive rebound by Duncan and a reset here for Vermont.
You cannot give up a rebound like that in this type of situation.
Catamounts in control of the lead and the basketball. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Dylan Penn searching for some space. Penn with 4. Back out. A long 3 by Duncan. Off the back iron, Vincent Lee secures. Titans with an opportunity for a 2-for-1 and to take the lead. Time out, Dedrick Taylor and Cal State Fullerton. Whew. I know we were sweating before, Carolyn, but it's getting quite hot here inside Titan Gymnasium.
Oh, yeah. I was biting my nails off and sweating. It was just some intense defense need to be played right there, but I'm glad Fullerton was able to come out with the board. That's been kind of a pattern we've seen all night, although the second chance points are only at 5 for the Catamounts. You still don't want to see that many second chance opportunities. That just lets Vermont know, like, hey, we can do this every time. We can grab all these boards and get all these opportunities, which also takes time off the clock.
How do you approach this possession? There's a 14-second difference between shot clock and game clock. A big opportunity to go 2-for-1. Now, obviously, you don't want to try and exceed the 30-second mark, right? Because at the end of the day, you're looking to try and get the last shot. Even if you miss, you don't want Vermont to be in possession of the basketball and the lead.
Right. What you could do is try to go for a quick shot under 10. So that's going to be something that allows you to still have time on the clock. So you don't want to, you want to be able to have a quick shot, come back and play some defense, get a stop, and then have a little more time on the clock just to run the clock out. Worst case, if you don't score on the first one, you still have that second possession. But again, you're going to want to be smart with this one. With only 39 seconds left, you want to make sure it's a great shot.
Best possible shot is that much more important. Hit that QR code on our screen that Carolyn is pointing to. Titans back in action in a couple of days on the 18th against Westcliff, the women's basketball team. Well, they'll be here pretty soon too.
The home opener is on the 28th. That's going to be a very fun night as they take on Pepperdine, I believe. That's
going to be a really fun. Pepperdine's women's looking to avenge the loss from the men back on Friday. 63-62 out of the timeout. The Titans will have possession of the basketball. Jalen Harris, Latrell Reitzel, Torrey San Antonio, Garrison Wade, and Vincent Lee. On the other side for the Catamounts, it's Cam Gibson, Robin Duncan, Nick Fiorillo, Dylan Penn, and Aaron Deloney. Finn Sullivan has fouled out, and that is a big point of notice. He's their best defender. Here we go. Latrell Reitzel doing the honors. In no rush right now to get the shot off. They are looking for the lead. This is a smart play by Dedrick Taylor. And Deloney trying to hound Reitzel right now. Lee with a screen. Finding Harris. Looking for the lead. He got it to fall. And Dedrick Taylor immediately calls a timeout. That was the same exact shot that Jalen Harris hit last year in the game winner against UC Irvine. And he does it again here against Vermont.
And it's not about how you start the game, it's about how you finish the game. And that's a big-time shot for a big-time senior who's been in these situations before. Didn't come out how I wanted to in that first half, but again, I'm here and I'm ready now. This is my moment, and he took that shot in the moment.
Jalen Harris has been asked to pick up the offensive load this season with E.J. Anasicki graduating. A couple of guys transferring. He had a really tough go at it in the first half, as you mentioned, but this is the guy that you want with the ball in his hands in a play like this, and boy, did he come through. Really quickly, going back to our upcoming games here on the Titan Sports Network, they'll be up at Pacific. Then they'll be back home against Westcliff. They'll have a 2-game road stand. And how about that game on December 7th, USC. Now, USC lost a bye game to Florida Gulf Coast University. Then they went on to dominate their second game of the season. They'll take on Vermont on Tuesday in a game that Vermont could pull the upset off of. I don't know if it's going to happen, but Titan fans, pay attention because there could be some implications on December 7th when USC and Cal State Fullerton meet. But right now, we got a game to finish. 64-63, no shot clock, 18 seconds to go. It's on Dylan Penn. Will Vermont hold for the final shot? Will they look to get a quick one? Great defensive disruption. Jalen Harris almost had it. And I believe that ball was tipped by Deloney prior to it going out of bounds, which means it's Titan basketball, and the Catamounts will have to foul.
Yeah, just miscommunication on offensive end. He looks like he threw a pass for a backdoor cut.
So Jalen Harris hits the go-ahead basket and gets the pass disruption. Latrell Reitzel takes the inbound. He gets hounded. Dylan Penn will get called with a foul after taking a shoulder to the chest, and that will send Latrell Reitzel to the free throw line. No matter what, it still will be a one-possession game. Now, obviously, you'd like him to hit one. Two would be the proper amount.
Right, but the way Fullerton has shot free throws tonight, you're hoping, and if you're at home, you're praying that they hit these 2 free throws right now.
Latrell Reitzel, a junior for this team, has had 2 really good years with this program. Looking to be a key cog in Dedrick Taylor's system here in year number 3. And Coach Taylor will call his team to the sideline. Both teams with one more timeout, and now the Titans will be called to the floor. Jalen Harris could be the hero. Game not over yet. Vermont has shooters. We have seen threes from Matt Veretto, from Nick Fiorillo, and Dylan Penn. Reitzel can't get the home bounce, so the best that he can do is make this a 2-point lead.
You're going to want to get a defender in, like, so we can see Lee checks back in for Jones. You're going to want to get your bigs out there, not only to secure that rebound on the last shot, but just to make sure you have the utmost amount of defense needed. And he hits the second one, thankfully.
All right, here we go. Dylan Penn, his team trailing by 2 with 6. Dylan Penn with 5. Dylan Penn for the tie. He gets it to fall. 3.5 to go. The Titans have a timeout. They are not going to use it for the win. Reitzel, no good. And we are headed to overtime inside Titan Gymnasium. In the wise words of John Rothstein, I hope you have your nitroglycerin pills ready, because this is heart-palpitating stuff. 65-65, we are headed to OT between Vermont and Cal State Fullerton. We'll have it for you next on ESPN+.
You also have to make sure you keep them down to 1 shot. And also, if I'm the Catamounts, I need to make sure that, again, I locate where the hot heads are. San Antonio was hot in the first half. We don't know who's going to show in this overtime, but Harris and Lee have been the offensive threats for the Titan squad.
No Finn Sullivan, he fouled out for the Vermont Catamounts. No Nathaniel Bastian, he fouled out for Cal State Fullerton. The tip goes to Vincent Lee and the Titans. Here's Latrell Reitzel. I'll give you the starting 5 in just a moment. Here's Vincent Lee on the high post. Nick Fiorillo will match up. Double comes. Swung up top to Jalen Harris with 15. Harris all the way to the rack. Floats it up. Gets the roll. Titans lead by 2 in the opening possession. It's Jalen Harris, Latrell Reitzel, Vincent Lee, Torrey San Antonio, and Garrison Wade for the Titans. Dylan Penn is joined with Nick Fiorillo, Robin Duncan, Aaron Deloney, and Cam Gibson.
You have Lee on Penn.
Yeah, and he gets tripped up. It's going to be on the floor, but fouls do carry over from the second half into overtime, which means a 1-and-1 situation as the 9th team foul is now on the board for Dylan Penn, who has been the star for Vermont here this evening.
And that's a smart setup by the Catamounts. You get the switch you want with Lee on Penn, and then you bring it back out to make sure you're able to have a nice clean attack.
Dylan Penn on the front end swishes it home. So right now we're just past 10 o'clock on the East Coast. So you know what this is called? This is a little ESPN Plus After Dark, baby.
Oh, sucky now.
We appreciate all of our friends out in Vermont staying up late on a Sunday night to enjoy some quality basketball with us. 67-67 is where we stand. Dylan Penn gets both to fall. Boy, what a ball game. What an opening weekend for Cal State Fullerton. Taking down Pepperdine in exciting fashion. Underdogs coming into this game against the AEC favorites. Jalen Harris tees up a triple. Off right. And wisely, Robin Duncan will let it go out of play.
And you see Harris just taps his chest.
He wanted the heat check. Yeah, he was feeling it.
Yeah.
No stranger to big shots. Hit the game-winning shot last year against UC Irvine. Max Jones will check out, and Jalen Harris will take a seat, maybe trying to get him to calm down just a little bit. Deloney in no rush right now as he crosses the timeline. Deloney into the middle. What a feed and what a jam! Nick Fiorillo going stride for stride.
It's a solid two-man game right there. Gotta like the monster jam.
Little pick and roll. Titans back on the perimeter. It was a loud dunk, but only counts for two nonetheless. In the corner, Wade feeds it to Lee. Double comes back out right, so extra pass. Torrey San Antonio shakes off the three, faces the basket, puts it up. It's short. Duncan rips down the board. Double comes. Duncan in trouble. And I believe he got a timeout off. He did. So smart play by Robin Duncan with his back against the wall to utilize the timeout. One more timeout left for Vermont. So we'll step aside for a quick timeout. 69-67, Vermont leads. Back for more in a moment on ESPN Plus. (69-67), the Catamounts lead the Titans here in overtime. Catamounts in possession of the basketball, bestowed upon the name back in 1928, the University of Vermont did. And right now, how about the offense for the Titans? 8 for 16 from beyond the three. On the other side, though, Vermont has hit 10 triples en route to a 2-point lead. And Dylan Penn, the pebble in the shoe of the Titans this evening, back in possession. Deloney will take it from him. High screen, turns the corner, extra pass. Penn thought about a three, Wade closes. And a foul is called. Maybe a little bit of wrist contact as that feed was made on the outside, but now 2 free throws for Vermont, as that is the double bonus foul for Cal State Fullerton.
pretty solid on the free throw line tonight. Going 7 for 12. Cal State Fullerton going 17 for 29.
Not a great number. I mean, it's good that you're getting to the free throw line, but you got to hit them.
Especially going into overtime. I'm sure you don't want to forget about it, but you definitely left some points on the floor in that first.
Penn goes 1 for 2. It remains a one-possession ball game. A break there for the Titans, but you have to find a way to capitalize. Here's Latrell Reitzel. Jalen Harris remains on the bench. Max Jones. Wade trying to find Vincent Lee. They know the double will come. Great denial by Penn, but eventually they get it. Jones thought about the 3, gives it up. 10 on the shot clock. Reitzel matched up with Duncan, penetrates, gets stripped by Duncan, and secured by Gibson. Great defense by Robin Duncan, who has really stepped up here in overtime. And now Dylan Penn in no rush. His team leads by 3. Penn into the corner, tipped up and out by Max Jones. Active hands by Jones. And this crowd has been active all evening long. A little bit stymied right now with Vermont leading. Now there are a ton of green shirts in the crowd. Vermont does have a large Los Angeles alumni base. They're actually holding an alumni dinner prior to USC's game on Tuesday. And they have shown out in droves to support the Catamounts here at Cal State Fullerton. Deloney on the perimeter. Reitzel picks him up, goes right at Reitzel. Reitzel gets the block. Titans with an opportunity to cut into the deficit or even tie. Jalen Harris is back into the ball game. Here he is in possession. Vincent Lee turns, flips, gets it to fall, and it's back to a 1-point ball game.
Solid hook shot by Lee. Not even hook shot, just solid turn and peek shot by Lee to see that he had the height over the defender.
Penn gets it back. Takes the screen from Deloney on the shoulder. Deloney, a long 3 is short, and that'll be out of bounds. An opportunity for the Titans back in possession with a $1.50 remaining to retake the lead here.
And that's one of those shots where you love it if it goes in, and if it doesn't, you might have liked a better shot in that situation. But knowing your player, you have a player like Deloney, probably live with that one.
Lee on the high screen, back to Reitzel. Torrey San Antonio been held without a field goal since the first half. All the way to Garrison Wade. 10 on the shot clock for Harris. Harris being denied the paint with 5. He's going to have to put this one up. He will. Looking for the lead. It falls! Jalen Harris. Unbelievable. And the Titans lead by 2.
That's just clutch right there. That's just such a clutch shot right there from a player who struggled in the first half. Knowing the time and score, knowing he has to take the last shot. Such a nice, and it just beautifully just goes through the net. And again, hand down, man down. He's just too much space and able to see the rim way too easy.
All right, Mark Jackson, I like it. Hand down, man down. Jalen Harris hits the triple. No stranger to the spotlight is Jalen Harris. Yeah, tap that tempo for all 3. He was benched for a moment to calm down. He was brought back in. And I would say that's very good coaching by Dedrick Taylor.
You gotta love it, that what's play, what's next mentality. It allows you to, again, step up time and time again. That's a second big time play. The first one to bring us to a tie. And the second here now to take the lead.
72-70, Catamounts in possession. Trailing by 2, do you continue to ride Dylan Penn or do you look for somebody else to step up?
Dylan Penn has been efficient. I mean, of course, the Titans know that, so you're expecting the Titans to cover their defense more around them. But again, if you have the Titans throw out a double at them or something, you have other players out there on the court who are going to be ready.
Here we go. 60 seconds to go, 2-point ball game in overtime. Dylan Penn will be facing some full court pressure. He'll be the inbounder. TJ Hurley scurrying up the field. Aaron Deloney, or I guess up the court. Aaron Deloney's there with him. Here's Deloney on the inbound. Back to Penn. No Finn Sullivan. He fouled out. It has been the Dylan Penn show for the Catamounts. Here's Deloney all the way. Extra pass into the corner. Looking for a lead. Cam Gibson cashes it home.
And that's just a great response by the Catamounts. Like we said, if Penn was going to be locked down, somebody else needed to step up, and that's a big-time shot from Gibson.
Cam Gibson, the grad transfer from Western Carolina, left alone in the corner. He takes advantage. This is a guy who has had quite a college career. He was an incredible freshman back in 2018, 2019. He made the Southern Conference freshman team, and then he had 2 seasons cut short due to injury. He had a slow start last season for Western Carolina, but boy, did Vermont get a guy.
And again, when you look at that last possession, that wasn't a great closeout by the Titans from that initial drive. So if you have a better closeout and you stop that initial drive, Gibson doesn't get open in the corner. The help side has to come over and help because he's so wide open in the paint. So yes, the Fullerton might have had to slip up on the defensive end on that last possession. But again, I'm looking forward to seeing what they're able to do with so much time left and only being down by 1.
It's become a heavyweight fight between Vermont and Cal State Fullerton. I don't know if we anticipated quite this kind of game. We knew both teams were sort of mirror images of each other, both teams with newcomers. And going back to our keys to the game here, I mean, perimeter movement has been pertinent for Vermont. Talk about finding shooters. Well, they certainly did that when Cam Gibson was wide open in the corner. Fullerton has forced a handful of turnovers, but not enough here to really warrant any sort of transition offense. And the pace for Fullerton has been inconsistent. So I would say both teams have answered the bell in some regard to our keys to the game, fallen short in others.
Right, I hear you with that one. But what I'd like to see is they've just stuck with it. They've chopped away at every single possession. So what I'm looking forward to see right now from Fullerton is to have some poise. You're going to want to have a great shot in this possession and then be able to play some even better defense on the other end.
73-72. A corner 3 by Cam Gibson was an answer by a right wing 3 from Jalen Harris. And the Titans will be back in possession with a 14-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Max Jones is out there to provide some extra offense. No Torrey San Antonio on the court right now for the Titans. And right now they're looking for the lead, not for the 2-for-1. Jalen Harris again, scurries around a screen, Reitzel into the middle, back out to Jones, puts it to the deck. Jones flips it up and in! The transfer from the University of Tampa gives the Titans a lead. No shot clock, 15 seconds to go in the ball game. No timeouts for Vermont. Here's Dylan Penn with 12. Dylan Penn backing his way in, back out to Deloney. And an opportunity for Robin Duncan. 5 for Deloney, 3 for Deloney, 2 for Deloney. He flips it down for the win! Duncan got fouled with 0.1 seconds on the clock. It's going to be 2 shots for Robin Duncan. He missed the go-ahead potential game-winning layup, but with 0.1 second, he will have an opportunity to win this ball game. The senior in his 5th year with the University of Vermont, out of Evansville, Indiana.
You can hear the Titan fans just trying to do anything.
And Coach Dedrick Taylor will try to ice the free throw shooter here, utilizing his final timeout.
I mean, that's a tough call. You have Jones under the basket, who is just trying to not even contest, but to just stop the initial drive, and just ends up in the way. Just in the way and didn't allow the player to land.
This is an improbable way, but a fitting way for a game that has gone like this to end. A back and forth affair. Vermont jumped out to a 10-point lead out of the gates in the second half. The Titans fought all the way back. They tied it up courtesy of a Jalen Harris jumper. They take the lead what's the word I'm looking for? Courteously.
Courteously.
Wow, words are hard to come by for your play-by-play broadcaster. Courteously. Courtesy of Jalen Harris.
There you go. There it is. There it is.
And then the answer by Cam Gibson in the corner. A flip up and in by Max Jones leads to a foul with 0.1 seconds left that has Robin Duncan headed to the free throw line. Now Duncan is a 72% career free throw shooter. We will see if the moment is too big as he lines up from the 15-foot mark. And actually it's Nick Fiorillo Who's the free throw shooter? My mistake. He is a career 67% free throw shooter. And right now, everybody on their feet inside Titan Gym.
Even the cheerleaders are on on levels.
Now there's a conversation being had here at half court. Diedrich Taylor out there, John Becker out there. Diedrich Taylor, a two-time Big West Coach of the Year. John Becker, a six-time AEC Coach of the Year. And for whatever reason, the conversation will wrap up. Nick Fiorillo, redshirt junior the forward from Scarborough, Maine. Mr. Maine basketball semifinalist in his third season, and they put 0.8 seconds left on the clock, by the way. And he gets the roll. So there will be time for a shot for the Titans. No timeouts left. This is for the lead. He misses, and we're headed to double overtime. Oh my goodness. Nick Fiorillo was rattled, and we're gonna step aside and recuperate. Stick around, folks, we got more basketball to play. 5 more minutes on the clock. Back in a moment on ESPN+. And by the way, Vermont's doing this all without Finn Sullivan, who fouled out. That is a huge deal, and some resiliency by the Catamounts. Vincent Lee almost jumped the block. Fiorillo was out there with Robin Duncan, Dylan Penn. How about Jalen Harris stealing the tip? Cam Gibson is out there as well with Aaron Deloney. Double overtime in the first ever matchup between these two fantastic programs. Max Jones turns the corner. Extra pass to Harris, puts it to the deck, flips it up, can't get the roll, gets the board, and then whistles blow, and they call an offensive foul. They call it on Jalen Harris. They're saying he extended his left arm. Both teams in the double bonus the rest of the way. This will be free throws for Vermont. The last thing you want to do if you're the Titans is give free points here to Dylan Penn and the Catamounts. So now they're checking something at the scorer's table. The stats aren't working in the building. It's being kept on the side, so they're having trouble keeping track of the foul count. As Dylan Penn will line up for the first of his two. Gets the roll. Dylan Penn tonight, 38 minutes, 8 for 15 from the field. He has 23 points now. His career high is 38. That came against Central Arkansas. As he gets the second to fall. Catamounts lead by 2. Jalen Harris turns the corner. Up against contact, no call. How about the follow by Max Jones? Athletic play.
That's a great follow there. You can see the Catamounts, everybody's just looking at the shot, but Jones sneaks in there and is able to get the putback. Max
Jones has come up huge in a myriad of ways so far in this ball game, his defense and his late game scoring. Here's Nick Fiorillo. Nice pass down low on the give and go. How about Aaron Deloney? Those two have hooked up a few different times this evening.
And that's great spacing by the Catamounts, having both players in the corner, leaving that paint wide open.
Vermont fans in attendance chanting defense. Right sole picks up his dribble. Swings it back out to Jones with 15 on the clock. Titans struggling to penetrate right now with 8. Vincent Lee, typically the guy they get the ball to. Here's the switch to Harris with 4. Harris with 3. Into the corner, right so wide open. Gets it to fall. Titans lead by 1.
And that's a great decision by Harris there to be able to see that the whole Catamount defense is sucked in the paint. What I like from Reitzel is that he doesn't just sit in the corner. He slides up a bit to where Harris can make the pass.
Both teams trading punches, trading leads. What a ball game we have been so fortunate to be a part of. Good defense by Max Jones again, stepping in front, clogging the baseline, forcing that ball out of play.
And that's where he's supposed to be. If you're in that position on the weak side, you cannot allow that pass to get to that baseline. I know from plenty of drills and practice, you cannot let that pass get there from the weak side.
This is a very tough ball to pass in, but a good job by Duncan to get it in quick. Deloney lines one up. He gets fouled. Jalen Harris can't believe it. And that's going to set up Aaron Deloney, a very good free throw shooter, for 3 free throws. Dedrick Taylor beside himself on the sideline.
And that's just a tough call there. I mean, you see Harris just looking to contest the shot, and he might have just got him on the hand just a bit. But the refs are down there. They have their eye. They can see it from where they're reffing at.
Deloney with an opportunity to give his team the lead, hits the first. Averaged a hair over 7 points per game last year. He shot 40% from 3. He was 4 for 5 from beyond the arc against Brown in the season opener. He gives Vermont the lead with 1 more free throw pending. And checking out is Dylan Penn. That's going to bring in TJ Hurley. Deloney can't hit the third. It's a 1-point ball game. Boy, there has been quite a lid on the basket for both these teams and big opportunities tonight. Jalen Harris will do the honors up top. Double comes, flips it to Reitzel. Vincent Lee was open for a moment. They swing it to Jones. Jones on the baseline, draws a double into the corner, Reitzel. Garrison Wade will try a 3. It's short. Vincent Lee rips down the board. The putback no good. He gets fouled. And Vincent Lee, who has struggled from the free throw line, with an opportunity to give his team the lead.
And that's a big-time O-board right there, especially when you struggle to get a lot of second-chance points. And again, just from reaching in right there from Farillo, you can't have that when you're trying to contest one of those shots. But Wade, great job on Lee to be poised and patient and try to get that shot off. So if we can get some shots into the rim on these free throws.
Yeah, this is why you practice your free throws, kids. I know everybody wants to shoot threes, but in a game like this where free throws may decide the difference.
I got a fun fact for you. So
let's hear it.
We have this drill called pressure free throws in practice, to where if you miss, you're at the free throw line by yourself, everybody else on the baseline. If you miss, we all have a down and back or some kind of running to do. If you make it, you're safe, the next person goes. Definitely prepares you for moments like these, and he banks it in.
I told you, he did that twice last week against San Diego State, and I know Dedrick Taylor told us it wasn't intentional. I really think it was.
I think this is so he knows it's going to go in the basket. If you hit it right on that circle, it's going to go in every time, and a second one just like that puts the Titans on top by 1.
I told you, this guy has mastered the art of the bank free throw. By the way, Michel Daishimeye will check in, number 24, for some very important minutes. Deloney into the corner. For 3, it's Duncan. It's short. Reitzel with the board. Titans have the lead and the ball. Garrison Wade loses it. I think he may have gone away with a travel. Torrey San Antonio was fouled nonetheless, and Torrey is headed to the line. I mean, Garrison Wade transported with that ball, and he's smiling knowing he got away with it. You see him lose it, and then he transports right under the arc, and Torrey gets bailed out by Dylan Penn.
And you think with the stride he had, he wanted to go up with probably like a one-hand banger right there, but the Catamount defense was able to catch up a little bit too quick.
Dylan Penn will check back in. Nick Fiorillo will take a seat. Here's Torrey San Antonio. He had 15 first-half points. He hit 4 threes. He has been held without a field goal since. And a timeout by Coach Dedrick Taylor. Both teams had 1 timeout. The Titans burned their only 1. And actually, they're going to check about what? Not sure.
Not sure if it was the foul. I mean, you can't go back and call that travel.
Right, no, you can't reverse a call that wasn't made.
Right.
Maybe they're checking to see if it was on Dylan Penn. Titans regardless, should be at the free throw line. And it was a quick replay review, so both officials back out there.
But this is the spot you want to be in if you're Fullerton again. I mean, you've been back too many not too many, but so many lead changes tonight, and in a position where not only are you allowed to go up 3 right now, you make these 2 free throws, but also too, you're going to want to make sure that you get that stop. It's going to come from this score, stop, score, stop. That's going to be able to secure the win for these last 2 minutes of overtime.
So whatever the replay review was, it didn't change the result on the floor. So Torrey San Antonio back at the free throw line for 2 massive free throws. You could hear a pin drop right now, with the exception of one Vermont fan who was hitting a seat. Which, I mean, if I was on that side, I'd do everything I could to try and make Torrey miss as well.
I mean, San Antonio, who was just on fire for the Titans in the first half, able to clinch some clutch free throws in the second one.
The broadcaster's jinx. Welcome to the world of broadcasting, Carolyn. I know you're a newbie. That's going to happen a lot. 82-80, 120 seconds to play. Dylan Penn with his team trailing in possession. Dylan Penn against Vincent Lee. Dylan Penn stops, turns, flips, scores. We're tied at 82.
That's just a tough shot. What I did like about that shot, though, he was able to get it far away enough and flip it over the hands of Lee.
The Titans have played a quadruple overtime game, that game against Cal Poly a couple of years ago. They have not been back to anything over double overtime since. Here's Vincent Lee on the high post, back out, Reitzel, puts it to the deck, flips it up, draws contact. They call it on the floor. It's sort of arbitrary, though, because he gets 2 free throws regardless, but a good heads-up play by Latrell Reitzel to draw contact nonetheless.
I mean, when you're in the position like this where both teams are in the bonus, I'm attacking every time. I'm not going to settle for a 3. I'm going to try to at least get an and 1 or get to that free throw line.
Reitzel calmly hits the first. Minute and a half remaining. Vermont has USC on the horizon. Cal State Fullerton will be at Pacific. Both teams would love the momentum of a win like this, but right now it's the Titans leading by 2 with 1:30 to go. A little full court pressure here by Coach Dedrick Taylor's squad. Dylan Penn, the gunner. Gibson takes the inbound back to Penn. Penn has been a force to be reckoned with this evening offensively. And we'll see if he can whip up some more magic. Here he is down the lane against San Antonio. No good. Foul is called. And Dylan Penn, who has been living at the free throw line, will get 2 more.
Seems like they call it every time somebody goes up.
And somebody hits the deck.
And hits the deck, yeah. And that's just a tough call there. And as you can see, he was able to get to the middle on that one and get the inside step on Antonio. And it could have been that second hand, maybe that was just on the player. And
Dylan Penn misses the first. Plenty of ball game left, but the best he can do is cut the deficit to 1. Torrey San Antonio takes a seat, a little offense for defense as Latrell Reitzel will come back in. Penn calmly hits the second. It's a 1-point ball game, 1:18 to play. And here's Latrell Reitzel. Resiliency on both sides on display on a Sunday night. Only one can walk away a winner, though. And right now it's the Titans in the driver's seat. Here's Vincent Lee up top. Harris draws the double. Still puts it up against contact. It's good and 1.
Count the basket.
Jalen Harris. He's going to have to go see a chiropractor because he has put this team on his back.
Got to get to Harris to really, again, stepping it up from that first half. And it's just being able to come in and just be such a clutch player for the Titans tonight.
6th man of the year in the conference a season ago. He was asked to step up and be the team's offensive output this season, and boy, has he stepped up.
And it seems that same pattern of him coming out, getting to see what's going on in the game, and then coming right back in, that's the kind of advantage you get to have as a sixth man. You see what's already going on the field, on the court, and then you get to come in and see exactly where you need to contribute.
Iliri Iofalei checks back in here for Vermont. And one is good. It's a 4-point ball game with 61 seconds to play. Dylan Penn has been the bulk of the offense in the overtime periods in possession. Swings it back out. And the three clinks off the back iron. Torrey San Antonio tracks down the rebound. There is about 17-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And yeah, that is a good foul by Dylan Penn. 2 free throws for Torrey San Antonio. It's the necessity now for the Vermont Catamounts to try and extend this game.
And like we've seen tonight, the Titans have kind of struggled with some free throws, but the last times they have been there, they've been efficient.
These 2 free throws would certainly make it quite tough on Vermont. And San Antonio, a very good free throw shooter, hits the first. What a story for Torrey San Antonio. Really has been struggling offensively, especially last season. Coming off of an ankle injury. His defense is what propelled this team to a 1-point win in the tournament championship against Long Beach State.
He's also a show host on our preseason show, so he does a little on and off the court.
And play is stopped right now. Both teams do have a timeout. I just think that, oh, you know what? The official apparently is supposed to touch the ball before it gets inbounds. This is one of those rules where it just makes, I understand that you're an official, but this isn't about you. This is about the guys on the court right now. Let them play. Here's Aaron Deloney. 7-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Deloney can't hit the three. San Antonio pulls down the board. All the way up, Vincent Lee. The icing on the cake. Titans lead by 8 with 20 seconds to go. Hurley will try a three. It's no good, and that will do it. Cal State Fullerton makes up a 10-point deficit in the second half. Jalen Harris ties the ball game in regulation. Jalen Harris hits a three. And then Robin Duncan hits the go-ahead free throw with 0.9 seconds left to force double overtime.
What I like to see, too, is those back-to-back boards from Antonio. That's what has been an issue for the Titans throughout the game, too. Second chance points. But securing those boards not only allowed for the Titans to come back down with a chance to win, but also the monster slam for Vincent Lee.
Harrison Wade missing the first. Harrison Wade, his numbers won't be incredibly high offensively, but his plus is going to be high because this guy impacts the game in other ways. Deloney will glide all the way to the basket, an easy two for him. And here's Latrell Reitzel with 10. And I think Vermont, nope, they're going to foul him. TJ Hurley trailing Reitzel makes some contact, and Latrell Reitzel will have a chance to pad the stats. 92-85. Who saw that score? Now I know we played the double overtime, but boy, both teams have really scored at a high clip. College basketball is back, Carolyn. It doesn't get much better than this.
I'm just excited to be here. And Reitzel was able to hit that first free throw, so I'm even more excited.
All right, look at you. It's both. 95-85. 94-85, excuse me. Dylan Penn put up a three, and that's the ball game. Titans stick it out. They're 2-1 on the season. They win 94-85. Torrey San Antonio, the first half MVP. Jalen Harris, the second half MVP, as he gets dapped up by his teammates over there at half court.
And that's what you love to see.